Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Uncensored Anime Podcast, a podcast where we talk about all things anime uncensored, and we are your hosts. Back at it again. I'm David. We got Jerry. We got Kenny. And today is, for a lot of our listeners, probably one of our favorite series to do on the show. Is where we.
This is
what?
Kenny?
All
right.
This is.
Okay, wait. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I get it. It's like a.
Welcome to Vampire Night Day, everybody.
Oh, no.
We've reached episode 50 of the podcast. We've been hijacked by the Vampire Night podcast. Welcome to Yuki Cross's one and only podcast where we celebrate Vampire Night, guys.
Kenny,
All right, can we mute Kenny real quick? Can we mute
What's
Kenny?
going on? Wait a second. What's going on?
Yo, it's
Somebody's
sounded-
coming for me.
Yo,
All right,
it's-
listeners, this is a special episode. It's the beginning of a brand new anime season. We're going to be talking about 13 brand new shows
They're all
airing
Vampire
this season.
Night.
They're
all
all
of them are about Yuki Cross at the Cross Academy, adopted by the principal that I don't quite recall his name right now. And I think she has two friends, like Zero Kiryu and the other guy. What's the other guy's name?
Well, we are starting off strong today, Kenny. We are starting. It sounded like you were eating your microphone when you picked it up a second ago. It was like
That's what I was doing.
It was like Kenny was like, "Let me get a taste of the Vampire Night." Oh my god.
Okay, well,
David.
So yeah, 13 episodes of
All
Vampire
right,
Night.
yeah.
We're going to review each of them one by one. So we're just going to start with the first anime, Vampire Night in a pod. Vampire Night in a pod.
God damn it, Kenny. I guess, fuck, they won't be ready for a right out the gate one. I don't know. Maybe they will.
probably not.
But
But
okay,
for-
yeah, you explain it, David. What do we
Yeah, now Kenny's like, okay, yeah.
Thank you, Kenny.
That's
Thank you,
what we're
Kenny.
here
So,
for.
if you are, this is the first one of, this is the first impressions episode that you're listening to. What we usually do on the podcast is that we pick 13-ish episodes of anime that are airing brand new, season 1, so no season 2s. We're not going to be talking about Attack on Titan or Demon Slayer or any of the other continuations. Only brand new anime this season. So, it's going to be a very long episode. They usually are. So,
That's why I'd spent 5 minutes talking about Vampire Night.
we wasted 5 minutes talking about Vampire Night. So, Jerry, before we begin, is there anything else that we need to cover before we get into it?
Yeah, welcome back. So, honestly, no, that was, we have a lot of stuff to cover tonight. And like David said, this is at this point, it's sort of our, seminal type of pod, over our first 50 episodes. How many times have we done this now? This is like our 6th or 7th one.
Is it really?
Yeah,
6
I think we started in fall of 2020 the first one we did? Oh, so yeah, this makes it our 6th season doing this. So, we decided this because 13 episodes is about what an average season of anime is. So we decided, okay, let's do like an average season of anime and watch 13 new shows. That's where it came from. So I don't know exactly why David said 13-ish. Because we've literally only done 13 every time.
There was one season we did 15.
Where did the ish? Oh,
we did 15 one season.
we did 13
15
on the
one
books,
season.
but we talked about 2 extras because we were feeling it. You're right. Okay.
Yeah,
you're right.
So just not to shoehorn us into only 13.
13-ish. 13-ish.
It depends. It depends.
But
Is
the
this-
way that this... Oh, Kenny?
Can we say that this might have been the worst 13?
The only one that is on the same playing field is Summer 2021. Summer 21 was pretty
real bad.
arguably
yeah.
comparably bad. But Kenny loved
also
fucking...
didn't-
What did you watch that season? The swimming one?
Remain?
Oh, Remain.
That
was
water
like-
polo,
that
Drew.
was like
What
the
fuck are
only-
you saying?
Good one.
Swimming,
One of the good ones.
water polo.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, water polo.
Water polo.
Swimming?
There was swimming involved. Okay, but beside the point, for those of you joining us for the very first time here on the Uncensored Anime Podcast during our winter first impressions, this is how this game, it's a game. This is how this works. Me, David, and Kenny watched the first episode of 13 brand new anime series that just aired for the first time this season in winter of 2022, like David said. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through, discuss our opinions on each of the first episodes with spoilers, so be prepared if you are wanting to not be spoilered about what the first episode of each of these shows are. you should go watch them and then come back and listen to the podcast. Or skip around to the ones that you did watch and hear our opinions on them. But after we get through our opinions on each of these first episodes of each show, we're going to use a very technical rating system. Each of us will either give a thumbs up, a thumbs sideways, or a thumbs down to just show you all, the viewers, where we stand with that show. A thumbs up is a strong validate, like this is a, I'd like to watch this show, I plan to watch it, I'm going to try to keep up with it. A sideways thumb is this was an interesting first episode, but I may not actually get back to it or really even consider keeping up with the show as it airs. And a thumbs down is this was shit, I'm going to drop it. And
I love that you explained that, and like we've been knowing what thumbs do since we were kids, bro. I don't know. He was like, he went into in depth. He hit it with the in depth.
Catch just in case we have any like international listeners, you know, it's not like we're just explaining.
It's a technical system. It's a very technical system.
What's going on? Wait a second. There gets me, guys. Get in the comments. Do y'all know how thumbs work?
Oh my God. But yes, that is how the process works here on our on our anime season first impression podcast. And I personally really enjoy when we do these because it just gives an opportunity to like sample a bunch of stuff. And yes, some people give us a little bit of, a little bit of shit, because the reality of it is a lot of people don't think it's worthwhile to drop a show after only one episode. But I disagree. I think that sometimes you know something shit. What I've learned is that what we've learned in doing this for so long at this point is that you can watch one episode and know that it's bad. And that's just the way it is. So without further ado, I think that we're going to try. I mean, we've already wasted somehow 10 minutes of this, and that's a lot of valuable time for 13 shows we have to cover. So David, what is the first show that we're jumping into tonight?
There's some stinkers.
So. The first show we're going to be talking about is The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt.
Well, David, since you introduced it, go ahead and tell us what.
David,
go ahead and tell us what. Yeah, go ahead and tell us what
about.
So I'm going to butcher this because this is like one of the first shows I watched, and I did not give a shit about this show. But basically, this is like a fantasy show. Our main character is a prince. And he's like smart, he's intelligent, but like behind the scenes, he's just like super lazy. He just doesn't want to deal with any of the responsibilities that are put onto him, being a prince. And so the first episode is just a lot of build up to like the continents, the different countries. There's a lot of like political things that are going on, and that's all I remember from the first episode because it was like I was not interested at all. So it seems like it's pretty comedic. I didn't really laugh at any of the jokes that were said. I thought they were pretty meh. Overall, I was disappointed. I was not a fan of this show.
Okay, David, quickly, what is it adapted from and what's the studio?
Originally, this was a light novel. Wait, before I assume this is giving me a light.
Hey, it could have been a manga.
Go to the Wikipedia, bro.
So this is originally a light novel series.
Oh,
it has been adapted into a manga.
Oh,
and it's currently being animated by. There it is, by Yokohama Animation Laboratory.
I don't know what the fuck that studio is.
I would say
they have done. This is their third anime that they've ever worked.
Ever. This is their third. This is their third anime ever.
They started animating things in 2017, and they've collectively have animated 10 things.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
Which I mean, I thought the animation was fine. I don't remember there being anything like weird or like anything that looked weird or bad or any weird CGI.
Yeah. I would say your explanation of this show is better than this show. So don't.
Yeah, honestly, it was almost more entertaining than the show. I kind of respect that.
God. Bad fantasies are just so bad to me now because I feel like. Out of all the genres right now, the isekai / fantasy style is so like what's the word whenever it's like full so
oversaturated.
It's oversaturated. Yeah, it's oversaturated.
And so it's like a shit one. I'm just like, bleh.
Yeah,
Kenny, I'm not convinced that there are good ones. That's what I'm in the point where I'm convinced.
So what?
I'm convinced that they are all shit. I think that they might all be shit.
Why is he talking about that one, Jerry? He has to bring up.
Mushoku Tensei. That's
isekai. This is just a fantasy. This one has no isekai element.
Okay, be honest. If the first 2 minutes of this show was like, actually, I died and got reborn as this prince, you'd have been like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, The shitty part is a lot of isekai and fantasy light novels lately have been like the plot elements are just sadly like very interchangeable. There's not really any consistency. I mean, it's all pretty much just like, it feels like a Mad Lib at this point. Like there's nothing, like I could have written this show while taking a dump and like it would have been of the same caliber of writing. Like there's no purpose or value. These types of shows don't seem to add anything to the world. Like I don't know why they keep getting made. I don't know why we're wasting human potential on these types of things. And I'm at the point where like if these keep getting created, like they're gonna become like the Squidbillies of anime. Like I'm gonna be that disappointed with them. Like
literally,
I'm just
like
tired of
Squidbillies,
I'm just stop. Nobody can like that show. Squidbillies has no fan base. I don't know why it exists.
Wait, I love Squid Game, bro.
Not Squid Game, Kenny.
This anime is like just like what was it called? How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. We talked about, I think.
Yeah, it's also just like
2 seasons ago.
They Mad Libs in new. They just Mad Libs in new names. This is the same damn show.
It's literally just MC is blank, wants to do blank, lives in continent with blank.
Yep, that's it. Nailed it.
That's it. Boom.
Yeah. I mean,
MC
I think
is smart, wants to be like lazy, sells his kingdom. I don't know.
Wait, what's that? Is that girl like his personal assistant, or what's her relationship to him? I can't
Wasn't she his
remember.
wife or something?
No.
Sex slave? I don't know.
I want to say maybe she was like her dad's assistant or family's assistant, and she just like maintained that role after his dad like was injured or something, so he had to,
part
like,
of his
assume
harem.
it.
That's her role.
It was like one throwaway line. It had no like the show has no reason to be alive. I don't know why this show exists.
Yeah.
Do y'all have any more thought? I mean, was the opening good? I don't even remember.
No,
I don't.
It was super
I don't
bog.
remember
It was
opening.
super bog standard, dog. Not worth.
Yeah.
This was
No,
a
I think
waste of 20 minutes, is what this was.
I think the most interesting thing about this show is that when it started talking about like, because I like the world building aspect of this show when there's like, it gets more to like the political aspect. Like there's all these countries. This country doesn't like this country. Like there's this war going on. So that part's pretty interesting. But I don't think it's going to be enough to keep me wanting to continue watching it. Because I think that was just like a few minutes, and majority of it was like on the print, like the comedy and stuff, which is like I didn't really like.
It's really starting to sound like David's trying to justify thumbing
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here, David. I'm not sure where you're.
On this one, he said, "Wait a
I
second."
want to give this show like some praise. I don't know.
I'm at the point with these types of shows where it literally, like, I'm not even. You can say whatever. The animation was fine. The music was fine. The vocal performances were fine. It just doesn't have any reason to exist. There's no reason for this show to exist, and it's because 15 other shows already exist that do the same thing. There's no thematic presence. There's no reason. It's not even like a good waste of time, in that like there's comedy shows that can be funny and like be a good waste of time because it gives you a certain level of joy. The jokes aren't funny. Nothing about the show was funny. The setup wasn't funny. I mean, like, nobody's sitting around thinking like, oh, a prince that gets elevated and he comically laments his successes as the new king of his kingdom. No, that's not relatable. It's just nothing. This is a big fat ball of hairy nothing bullshit. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself.
Longtime fans of Genius Prince, get in the comments, please. Tell us how we're wrong, okay? And I'll tell you why you're wrong. Also,
I'm sure someone's gonna jump in the comments and be like, Jerry, if you read the original light novel source, you would better understand that the political nature of the Genius Prince is that it slowly develops over the course of the time, and the character's overall development and overarching plot armor is that he's easily masturbatory, and then I masturbate with him, and then we masturbate back to back.
I don't.
I'm just so over it.
Vivid.
It's about masturbating back to back.
I'm just so over these shit
I don't
shows.
think anyone's going to support this show.
And here's the shittiest part. The shittiest part is there's more that we had to. This is not the only one.
Yeah, no,
there's almost like 2 more carbon copies of this show that we watched in this set of 13. Whatever.
Yep. So we didn't even watch the shittiest one. I think Rusted Armor.
We're thumbs, like all 3 thumbs down.
Oh yeah, I tried to specifically only pick the ones that had like a degree. Like I picked the isekais and fantasies that actually had like a little bit of hype behind them, because there's always like no hype fantasy shows that come out, and I'm sure those are somehow even worse than this. But like this was already bad. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I'm dumb.
Hey guys, if you give us 1,000 subscribers, we'll lock Jerry in a room and make him watch every episode of this show.
I would gladly. I'm almost at the point where, like, if someone really were to come to me and be like, Jerry, it's just like with Noblesse. Do you guys remember Noblesse? We watched it for one of these.
Only episode 1. I never went back and finished.
If I remember correctly, that show just got more and more fucking confusing.
Yeah, so someone got on to me once because I told him that, I watched episode 1. I really wasn't feeling it. I thought it was pretty poorly executed. Decided to drop it. And this guy got on to me in the comments of this, like, Facebook thread. He was like, you're really missing out on a fantastic series because you are not putting in the time to watch the rest of Noblesse. And I was like, what? I was like...
That's a webtoon. Though.
Honestly, bro, like...
Fans are like...
Yeah, they're...
cutthroat.
Yeah, they have like a serious mental health issue.
There are good webtoons out there.
The thing is, like... I just am confused because so I said, okay, great. So I remember I forced myself because he told me, he said, you're going to really enjoy episode 1 more if you go back and watch the 2 OVAs that were made that are prequels to episode 1, bro. Like, you're going to really appreciate it more. So I said, okay. I sat down and I wasted another 2 hours of my life committed to. Oh, I did. It was like 2 hour long OVAs. I watched both of them and I took notes the whole time and I was like, it is, I mean, it was just structurally all over the place, inconsistent. It had no purpose. I mean, the themes weren't prevalent. The fight scenes were shit. Like, nothing about it there was like no joy. I got zero joy from watching that show. And I was like,
Jerry, you gotta read the webtoon comic first.
Now I do think probably these are all just pretty poor adaptations of that. I bet if I just sat down and read the webtoon, there's probably something of value in the depths of that webtoon, because I do think there was probably a lot of art and purpose put into the Noblesse webtoon, and it makes me wonder, like, maybe if I go and pick up the Genius Prince light novel, maybe somewhere in there, because that's the original source, that was the original creator, maybe he has something in there, but whatever's happening is that these things are getting adapted into these incredibly, incredibly terrible, just like unbearable series. That's what's happening. It's like
these are the white bread of anime.
Yeah, this is the white bread.
I just don't like it.
Like Siren should have been adapted to an anime, not
yes.
Like, there's so many other series that can be adapted that deserve to be.
I mean, think about the rest of Gauntz, like, you know?
Gauntz?
I mean,
Gauntz?
Now talking about something that I'm actually reading right now. That's I fucking love
Wait,
Gauntz.
Mappa for Gauntz?
Okay, let's wash down the terrible... what was the actual name of that show? Say it one more time.
The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt.
What an absolutely terrible name for a television show. That should burn in hell.
All right, Kenny, are you ready for the next one? You're up next.
What is it? Which one is it?
Akebi's Sailor Uniform.
This is the best anime that I will never watch. This is the fucking
Kenny,
weirdest.
But tell me, what was it about, Kenny?
This was about a girl who lives in rural Tokyo, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
But she's always wanted to wear a sailor uniform. And so she applied to a prestigious academy that she believes wears the sailor uniforms because her mom went there and they wore sailor uniforms. Then the whole first episode, they like make the sailor uniform. And then she gets so excited, but turns out, guess what? They don't wear sailor uniforms. But then the school's like, you know what? Let her wear the sailor uniform. And then she runs into a girl smelling her own toes. And then she's like, guess I'm not that weird.
Yo,
guess life's going to be okay.
Yeah, the second act was a real doozy. The second act was a real doozy.
It was so well animated. And this is the best show I will never watch again. That's what this show is.
What in the world, bro? That shit me in the bed, dog. David, what was... I just don't know
what the fuck. What?
What was going on here? What was it adapted from, and what's the...
Yeah, so it is originally a manga. Ran in Tonari no Young Jump.
What was the... what demographic is that? Seinen, shonen, josei?
It's seinen.
It's a seinen series. Weird.
What the fuck?
It is still ongoing. It came out in 2016, so there's 9 volumes out right now.
Okay.
and it's adapted by Cloverworks, which is always a coin flip. So
yeah, they can have really, really stellar stuff, and they can have some real shit box.
They spent all their money.
They have a lot of shows this year.
Yeah,
too,
they popped off this season. I think Tokyo 24th Ward is them, and so is
Yep, that's their original.
And they have one other. We watched 3 Cloverworks shows this season.
They should have spent more money on Tokyo 24th Ward and not all this damn animation money on Akebi's sailor uniform.
We'll get to the third one. One of the other ones on our list is by them too.
Yeah.
But Cloverworks is Promised Neverland, right? Or am I flipping?
Yes, you're right.
Okay, sweet.
Too bad they only made one season of it.
Akebi's sailor uniform was like not. It wasn't as bad as I thought it. I don't know. I mean,
I'm probably gonna keep watching just out of curiosity to see if that
there was like
a toenail clipper girl will show up.
It was like a fairly well paced, like moderately well scripted. The animation was actually very gorgeous, especially the backgrounds.
It was
and painting.
Wonderful. It was crazy.
The character was actually pretty compelling. She has a lot of insecurities and there's a lot going into it, and she's it's got that youth undertone of like, how do we overcome or become ourselves through youth? I mean, like, it was just weird when the girl was smelling her foot. Like, like that was the deepest, like the author like wrote all this cool stuff and then was like the weirdest shit that they were like, how do I make it to where Akebi's not the weirdest one at her school? Right. Got it. Foot smeller. Yeah, toe smeller. Fucking toenail clip eater. Dude, what the fuck? God, I was like, yo. And there was a lot of shots of like feet in this that kind of freaked me.
Lots of feet. So I think maybe there was some undertone.
I honestly think Dan Schneider might have directed this shit, dog. I'm like worried.
No, Dan.
Quentin Tarantino and Dan Schneider they're the producers of this show.
Shit, wait, Quentin Tarantino actually helped with the anime adaptation. It says that right here on the Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, is that what it says, David? Yeah. Directed and produced by Quentin.
So much feet.
He actually wrote that other show that I like, Vampire Night.
Is there a lot of feet in Vampire Night?
I quit. I don't know, guys. What did you like? To me, okay. So the conversation between her and her mom when they sort of come to the realization that the uniform is not present, really cool. I thought that her and her mom's relationship was really well presented. I don't know where her dad is, which is like a little mystery.
I actually loved her dad, I think.
Wait, what? Was her dad present?
He was in the text messages. He was like,
she roasted him. But she's like, oh, that's what it, but we don't really know why. He's clearly away from home. He's got something.
Right.
Yeah. So clearly her and her mom has a deep relationship, but you're right. Her dad did roast her. Because she was sleeping.
Love my daughter.
Oh, I almost forgot that. That was pretty deep and honestly pretty cool. Her little sister's pretty dope. I mean, like the everything about this show kind of works, and I kind of hate that it works. Like I don't know. I don't hate. There's something here. This show is not terrible.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what would happen next because there was just like a lot of like the ending, like the beginning, the first half was like pretty normal, and then like just the end, like the introduction of those two girls. I can't remember like the quirk of the second one that walked in later, but
she smelled their toes.
No,
the first one did.
The episode ended.
Yeah.
The episode ended before we learned anything about her.
Yeah, before they talked.
Right. So I'm curious to see what the other girl's all about, and if all the girls that come in just have a weird thing about them, and then
I think that's where it's going.
Akebi's like, let's be friends. I don't care.
You heard it here first. All of the girls are going to be wearing damn sailor uniforms by the end of the anime.
Oh, that's probably Kenny. You probably called it.
That's probably a good call. Yeah.
Honestly,
you heard it here first on the.
So probably her and her mom will probably make uniforms for everyone.
The sailor uniform will end up as a like sort of we have conquered our youth type.
Yeah, there's like there's actually some thematic thing going on there, like with where it comes like people who go against the grain, and there's people who accept. So there's, I mean, like I said, there's actually like
potential.
There's like something here.
Will be the first follower,
Oh, Toenail Clipper's in, dude. She's
part of the crew, I think.
Dude, she took a big ass whiff out of that clipper, dude.
She did. She's like,
I cannot believe how lengthy.
When you texted the second that happened, I didn't see the show yet, and I was like, oh god,
bro,
what is he watching?
Well, when
I saw it. It came out of the blue. I was not expecting to be in that show.
Yo, she about lived in another dimension when she smelled that
passed
tentacle.
out.
Yo,
why was this so? This show was so well animated. I can't get over it. Like it was just very beautiful.
It was.
I feel like Cloverworks has been like.
Oh, the music. The music was also really good on this one, if I remember correctly. Really good soundtrack. Like for the a lot of the scenes, especially where she was like running through the countryside, and there's a really pretty shot when she goes to school for the first day. That had some really great animation and music that was underlying it. But yeah, overall, this is just like, I don't know. I'm not really sure seinen is the audience I would imagine for this. This seems like maybe an older women, like a show that might appeal more to older women. It seems like it's going to touch on female youth, which I think will be a really like powerful thing. So I'm not really sure why this is like.
Maybe someone's going to die.
Or maybe like. It's a foot fetish show. That's what I'm like. I'm worried I'm worried the whole thing is just gonna completely like get.
It's either gonna be like super powerful or super fetishized.
Yeah, I'm scared it's gonna like blast way into the wrong side, and that's why it's a seinen. But obviously, I don't know about what the future of the actual like storyline is. So it totally could just be like a really nicely written story about youth, but it also could go like full blown weird.
Feet.
Yeah, like fucking feet.
Girls smelling feet and shit, you know.
It could go that direction. And if that's the case, then so be it. But I don't know. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, boys.
Yeah.
What are we thinking?
Let's rate. Let's rate.
Let's
What are we
get some
thinking?
Thumbs.
Man, this is a tough one for me, but
3,
Ready?
2,
I already know what
1.
David's gonna do.
I think we're in agreement here today, boys.
Yeah.
This
I
is
think
one
we're on the
little-
same wavelength.
Middle thumb.
This one is just one of those ones where it's like there's just enough weird stuff happening that you kind of want to watch more. But but you're not going to put it on as your first choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This, like I said, this is the best show that I'm never gonna watch again. So.
People are probably. I feel like 6 months from now, there's going to be like
I love this show.
the anime you never knew you needed or something.
Never even flew under everybody's radar.
Yeah, completely underrated anime show, tops charts.
Wait a second, y'all know the anime that flew under everybody's radar though? One Piece.
What?
Yeah,
bro. One Piece. Bro, One
All right,
Piece.
Are you ready?
Naruto?
Are you ready, Jerry?
You know Naruto?
What's the third? Oh, dude, have you heard of Naruto?
Naruto?
Yo, do you ever hear about Naruto?
All right. Show number 3 is Slow Loop.
Jesus Christ, David. I hate
It
this
just
show.
happened. It just
Whatever.
happened.
This
just
is
happened.
okay. Listen, guys. This is a show about fishing. At its core, that's what it's about. Two young ladies.
And cooking.
Yeah, there's some cooking aspects too, cooking the fish. But essentially, there's two young ladies. They kind of meet in an interesting circumstance. One has lived in this town for a long time. One is new to the town. They kind of meet on the dock, and they kind of start talking about fishing. They slowly realize as their conversation develops, and they actually fish. There's like some technical fishing conversation, and then they cook the fish. They start to slowly realize that their parents are getting married to each other, and they're both attending a dinner at each other's house that night. So they are now newly minted stepsisters. Stepsister, that's right? Yeah, stepsisters. Yep. So they end up moving in together and sort of adapting to their new life, while also, so one of the girls is really fond of fishing. It seems like her and her dad used to do it a lot together, but her dad is like, I think, no longer in the picture,
Dead.
right? Yeah.
He died.
Dead, I think.
Was it? I can't remember if it was directly said or if it was just implied.
I think it was just implied, but I
think they said that he died, but they didn't say the reason.
Okay, yeah.
I bet we probably
so there's a
will see
little
a
bit
little
going on there.
thing, too.
But the two main female characters are sort of, a deep friendship. It seems like there's a little bit of a Yuri undertone. Maybe the two girls have a little bit of a romantic feelings for each other. But it wasn't super aggressive in the first episode, but it was enough there to be like, they might have like romantic feelings for each other, which is whatever. I mean, they're not blood related. It's just stepsisters. It's whatever. They just had to move in with each other. I mean, it's still kind of weird, but like, it's not the strangest thing. They're both adults. It's whatever. Or actually, I think they're high schoolers, but
I think they're middle schoolers.
High schoolers, I don't know. You never know.
They're both 12. That's
in school.
adults.
It's just weird because it starts with them, like when they're on the dock, I was like certain they were both full grown adults. And then as the conversation developed, I was like, oh wait, these are like high schoolers? And then by the time they like went to school, I was like, middle schoolers? I was very confused about what their age or intended age was. But
I thought one girl was a boy the whole time.
Jesus Christ. So it seems to be a slice of life, cooking, fishing, sort of, there was a little bit of comedy, potentially a Yuri, a little bit of romance. So
I do want to say David added this one. He had this one on the dome.
Yeah,
real quick.
Yeah. So just so you guys know,
I went to live
last week
and picked one that we did not talk about.
Yep.
I forgot last week.
Pretty quick though. I was it was not even a minute. He was like, slow loop?
Yeah, slow loop? He was like, weird. No, so last episode we mentioned we were going to try to watch Ryman's Club, but by the time we sat down to actually film this, a bunch of these shows we're talking about today already have 2 to 4 episodes out. But Ryman's Club is still not even out. It's like just not come out yet. So it's supposed to come out this upcoming weekend. So we decided we didn't want to delay the episode any further. We were trying to get this out for a week or two at this point. So we just wanted to go ahead and do it. So we dropped Ryman's Club and replaced it with Surprise Yuri Fishing Show, which is classic David, because we just said, David, I said, David, what should we replace with? He said slow loop. I said, okay, sounds good. And then I turned it on and said, oh, okay.
Wait,
I was like, he made it. Okay, David, tell us about, I think, is this from a manga? David, is it based on manga?
Tell us what it is.
Yeah, so this is originally based off a manga, serialized a seinen.
Also a seinen.
Serialized a seinen magazine, Manga Time Kirara Forward.
Well,
and
in this one, so.
It debuted 2018, so a little around like 3 years ago at this point. And it's animated by Connect, which I've never heard of Connect.
Don't know.
They have done nothing that I notice.
Damn.
Oh, they've only done like 10 to 15-ish shows. Okay. So
they didn't do that small show, Naruto.
Yeah, I think they did that small show Naruto.
Okay, let's briefly. They did do Naruto. No, they did not. God damn it.
They didn't do Naruto.
So with Slow Loop, this is one of those things where it's like, I could see how this could be someone's sort of just like guilty pleasure show. There's not a lot going on. It's pretty easy to follow. It's actually pretty well animated. It was actually kind of cute in some points.
Like fishing, I mean,
yeah. If you're a fan of like fishing in general, you might get a kick out of it, or cooking. And if you want something just kind of slow and simple and easy. The fact that it runs in a seinen makes me wonder, like, is there something that happens? Like, or is this literally just like a kickback fishing show about girls?
I mean, maybe they'll expand more upon the main character's dad, and they might delve deeper into that. So.
Maybe it gets too informational, like about fishing, and
right?
That's more adult focused.
I was kind of
like, what little kid is like, oh, I want to learn about how to fish.
That was actually exactly what I thought, Kenny. Is maybe it's literally like a very. I mean, and from the first episode, there was some really solid, just like fishing information.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe it just leans into like being a fishing manga. I don't know. Because I don't really know any other fishing manga, honestly. Yeah. So I don't know. What about?
I mean, there's Hunter has fishing.
What about some of the other like elements of the show, guys? Animation, art,
animation was
voice
good.
Acting. Like, I don't know. Did you guys did anything about the show like really stand out? That's kind of the worst part about this whole season.
So.
Is everything just faded together? I was like, what?
There's like so few things for me that stood out this season, and from this show, I mean, I think the biggest thing that stood out was just how informational it got and how detailed it was with its like it showed you how to gut a fish. I can't remember the type of fish that it was, but
a rockfish.
Like rockfish, yeah. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Rockfish sashimi. But yeah, I mean, other than that, there wasn't really anything to really gloat about.
Yeah.
It kind of made me want to fish though, if I'm being totally honest.
I can give you that.
Kind of like, damn, fishing could be fun.
Yeah, it's like a very relaxed, like
I feel like we're matching the energy of this show right now. We're literally it's whatever. It's whatever.
If you just want to put something on and just like lay back and just like zone out. This is like a pretty good show to do that too, I think.
Yeah, this is I can give this a thumb if you guys are ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, this is just an instant.
3, 2.
Oh shit, I went way too soon, but this is just a thumbs down for me. I just won't watch this.
I don't know. Maybe I'll turn it on again.
Not really my style. Not really my style, and not really the content I look for when I'm watching a show. I'm just not. And if you guys have watched just in the past, I'm pretty aggressively like anti-fantasy, anti-isekai, and I'm pretty anti like slice of life. Honestly, I don't really watch that. I don't really watch.
Yeah, Jerry's waiting for the Gaunt's anime continuation.
Yeah. Okay.
I fucking love slice.
There are very few. Some slice of lives work for me occasionally. Just like how, like, I mean, what last season we talked about Faraway Paladin. That was a pretty cool show. It was isekai. You know, I didn't hate it, but I didn't end up watching more of it. But I didn't hate it.
I didn't either.
It looked pretty good, and you know, so sometimes every once in a while, there are shows that work for me, but when it's just really bog standard, I guess fishing was a cool thing, but whatever. Slow loop. I'm about to.
We were on the slow loop
our way out of here. Yeah.
All right. So next show.
David got a good show, Jerry.
Requiem of the Rose King.
Oh no, this is fine. You can do this.
I like that one. Yeah.
So Requiem of the Rose King. So a little behind the scenes. So I've heard about this show, the manga, way in advance before the anime came out, because I know it's like really, really popular in shoujo circles.
It's bounced around.
I heard about the story though, even before.
Yeah, I think in the 1800s or 70s. Yeah, when was that? Yeah, I think my guy William actually might have done that one. Yeah.
Did that.
Have you guys heard of old William? William Shakespeare. He's kind of a big deal. I don't know if anyone's heard of him, but he's kind of a big deal.
I'm kind of not a big fan of Shakespeare, but. So Requiem of the Rose King is loosely based on, I think it's Henry the Fourth, Part Third, and Richard the Third.
Yeah, it's like 3 different fucking plays.
It's like there's like a specific part in those plays during the tumultuous wars of the Roses period, and so a lot of these characters are again based off of characters from Shakespeare's play, and so in this first episode, it's a lot of exhibition of talking to you about, you're introduced to the main character and his family. You're kind of given insight.
What's exhibition mean?
You meant exposition. You meant exposition.
I meant exposition.
I was trying to be an exhibition.
I meant exposition.
Yo, David was trying to flash some titties outside.
Exposition. I need a dictionary. I need a thesaurus.
I heard him say exhibition, Kitty, and I was like, what?
Yeah, it's we're about to have an exhibition match between the King of England. If you hadn't
said anything, I'd have been like, I guess that was the right word.
First episode, exposition though. It was
all right. Exposition. This first episode is very exposition heavy. There are many introductions to the main character, which is Richard III. We meet his brothers, his dad, and there was like something that happened at the end of the episode, but I can't remember because instantly was like I lost interest in this show.
Oh Lord. Well, there was a major twist. That kind of sets up the whole show, and that's that Richard's not a boy.
Yeah, he's a girl.
It's a girl.
Oh.
Yeah, the youngest Richard is
hot diggity shit.
Yeah, the youngest Richard is revealed to be.
He feels alienated because he is intersex.
Yes, correct. Yeah, yep. So born a woman, but obviously is presents as male and uses he/him pronouns.
Right.
So yeah.
That's why
go
he's
on,
haunted
David.
By the ghost of Jean d'Arc. Also somebody who was like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that part.
It's a pretty interesting. Yeah, I didn't expect Jean d'Arc. I don't know.
As a weird ghost.
Yeah. I wasn't really ready for that one. I was like,
I do remember that.
Alyssa and I looked at each other and were like, Jean d'Arc? What the fuck?
This show was done by JC Staff.
That's pretty impressive.
Hey,
which was like kind of the animation was pretty good.
Yeah, pretty impressive job. Yeah, I'm like JC Staff's pretty known for like
better than Eden Zero.
Pretty basic stuff. So this was a pretty high caliber show for them.
Yeah, and apparently the show, the manga ended a few weeks ago.
Oh shit!
So
I wonder if we'll get a full adaptation.
Final chapter came out 6th of January. So
unfortunately, I think I know how it ends.
Does everybody die?
It's pretty Shakespearean if they do.
It's a tragedy.
If they do, I think
everyone dies.
Dead, so
yeah, I think they do.
Yeah, sign me up. That's Shakespeare for you, dog.
Yeah,
pretty cool. It's always weird. Oh, go Dave.
Fun fact: apparently, this show has a lot of drama CDs. Apparently, the voice actor for Richard III in the drama CDs also does the voice in the anime.
That's pretty cool. That's cool. For any fans of the CDs, I'm sure that's pretty exciting. Yeah, that's cool.
The style in this show was dope, though.
The backgrounds were incredibly well done.
Just super dark, just super.
Sometimes sometimes shoujo artwork when translated to anime, mainly because of the sharp chins and like the big eyes, sort of that Code Geass look. But obviously shoujo is like, it's a pretty distinctive style. Sometimes it doesn't really work for me when I watch it in anime. Like sometimes it can just look a little almost too far deformed. But the balance between the stylization in this show worked, and I think that the backgrounds really elevated this show. Again, JC Staff that's like a surprising drop, because like they just don't usually do like super high quality stuff. So to see them doing those I'm kind of very impressed by them. So I like the backgrounds. Did this one have a fire opening, or am I being dumb? I thought I remember.
I don't know if it had an opening.
Maybe it was
blast right into it.
Wasn't a song at the end? Maybe
I watched episode.
Yeah,
I might have started
so.
episode 2 and like the opening.
I'm thinking that maybe the song at the end is what I'm thinking of. Then whatever the
it may have been the opening.
Yeah, it probably is the opening though. That's a lot of times with these first episodes, they play the opening at the end of the first. It's weird.
Yeah,
but I want to say that this opening was pretty good. I don't remember it being like my favorite, but I remember like making a mental note, like, oh, that was a pretty good. Like I like the song.
I think so too.
Overall, I think the performances were good. I think the plot and setup here, it's Shakespeare, but a little bit changed, and that's pretty cool. We might get some cool little sword battles and some little scuffles.
Yeah.
There's some drama at play here between Richard and what was the other guy, the other prince's name that kind of got captive after
Henry.
It's
Henry.
Henry. Okay. So Henry is the other prince. There may be
Six.
a romantic relationship budding there, is what I'm guessing. There was a little bit of hinting towards that in this first episode, and the drama was nice, and I like the supportive nature of. I really want to. I'm curious about Richard's dad because he seems fairly supportive of Richard, but I wonder if we'll slowly start to tease away and realize that Richard's dad was like really forceful in making them present as male. I don't know. Like, I'm curious because he actually seemed super supportive and kind in this first episode, and they presented him as like a pretty and Richard's older brothers. Was there 2? I can't remember.
George, yeah.
2 older brothers, and to me, like the 3 of them all seemed pretty. Like I don't know. It actually.
I think it's only the mom that was not supportive at all.
Because young Richard, Richard III. That means a lot of their battle is going to be kind of personal and intimate, and about them coming to terms with what their identity is. And again, I guess I should use he/him pronouns because that's what they seem to use in the show. But him coming to terms with what his identity is. But I didn't hate the show either. This was like, would I watch more of it? Maybe not. But was it bad? No, it wasn't. It was inoffensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have much to add. Just that I don't like Shakespeare. So.
But David went straight to bed. He said, "Wait, there was a twist." He was like, "Are you sure, Jerry?"
I think I might have slept through this and didn't go back and watch the ending. So.
Oh my God, David. Okay.
Sucks.
Kenny, you ready to thumb?
Yeah. I'm reading about the War of the Roses now.
God damn, Kenny's gonna watch the whole season. Rose King on 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's a drop for me. Sad. I'm not trying to be whatever. Yeah, you guys are both willing. I probably should. I didn't hate this one, so I probably should give this one 2 or 3 more episodes. And if Alyssa wants to watch it, I'll probably watch more of it because I don't know if she liked the first episode or not. I didn't really ask after we watched it. So if she's into it, we might watch more because I didn't hate it. So, but for me, if it was just me, I would probably drop the show and not watch anymore. But all right, David, what's next?
All right, next up is Henry VI Part 3. No, I'm just kidding. Next up is
it's actually
it's
actually
no, I'm just kidding.
W. Juliet.
All right, Ken. The next one is the strongest sage with the weakest crest.
Jesus Christ.
This one is. I guess this one's like. He's reincarnated.
Can we just talk about the name of his name was like Devils or something. And
Devilish.
Devilish. And then they were like, surprise, he's a demon. And I was like, no shit, Sherlock. Obviously, the man's name was Devil. What the fuck?
This was not an isekai. It was about.
It was a fantasy also.
Yeah, but he reincarnated himself.
Wait. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was like
he used to have the bad crest, and then he got the good crest.
Yeah.
He's the great sage, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
This show moved exceedingly fast.
Oh, very quick.
It was like we're already in the multi-school tournament at the end of episode 1. Okay. We blasted right through oh my God, he's so much better than everybody else because he's reincarnated. And we blasted right by meet the heroines of the show, and we were like fighting Devilish by the end. So it was just
it was pretty quick.
I don't know if
What's crazy is that at the end of the show, we found out that the weakest Crest is actually the strongest one, and the devils actually rule over society, and they've been secretly, implanting that it's the weak one, but really it's the best one, guys.
The strongest.
Surprise!
Who would have guessed?
Yo, I hated this show. This was another waste of my time.
Bro,
God, what the fuck? Why did I watch this?
It moved so fast, though. I was like, we were like blazing right by because I've actually read this manga.
Oh wow!
Wow. And I think this gets through like fucking 10 chapters in like one episode.
Oh damn!
Wow.
Because like there was some shit.
It's breakneck.
Yeah, I mean, like let's see. Like it starts with him enchanting her sword. Then all of a sudden they have a literal fight to like get into the academy. Then they get into the academy and they realize that he can use spells without incantations. Then they hire him as a fucking teacher to teach the rest of his classmates how to also do spells without incantations so they can compete in the Inter-High tournament, which they then go and compete in. This is all in the first episode. They then go and compete in the Inter-High tournament where he beats, like he wins the fight in the episode. He actually wins. Like the whole, that's it. That was pretty much the general plot of most of these shows, all condensed into 20 minutes. You don't have to watch anymore. That's it. Show over.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's like 4 or 5 episodes of another show.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just one.
Was there anything redeeming for this? Oh, David, yeah.
So some quick facts. Originally a light novel series.
No way. I'd never
adapted into a manga.
No, it wasn't.
There's light novel spin-offs.
No way.
Apparently, and this was done by JC Staff, so another JC Staffer.
Not as good as Requiem. A little bit weaker on the animation.
Not as good. Weaker than Requiem.
A little bit on their. This is kind of this was their junior department of animation. This is their. They brought out the little league for this one. I don't know. This show was dumb. I don't know. I don't want to be rude. There's probably fans out there,
so it might be seasonal, I guess. It's weird that they're moving so fast, but it's still ongoing. There's 17 volumes
of the light novel or the manga. Oh, there's of
the manga. There's 13 volumes of the light novel, 17 volumes of the manga to date.
That's an absurd amount for this series to have. Like I'm actually like very upset that. So like I'm almost trying to get
a volume an episode.
That is like a lot of content for this concept. Like I just don't know. I don't know how someone could write that much. 13 light novels? 13? He's written 13 light novels about this guy with
that's the main series. And there's 2 volumes of the spin-off light novel series. Jared,
you're shitting me. That's mind-blowing. I don't know. Did you guys find anything redeeming about this show? Like, I don't know. Is there anything we can even say about this? Like, the opening was... I don't even know if it... No, it did have an opening song. It was...
Jerry, if this was me at the end of 2020... when I was starting on this podcast, I would tell you that, like, you know what, this show seems pretty interesting. This seems pretty, like, it doesn't look
Kenny,
that bad.
David has leveled up.
Good.
What's it going on?
Now, Jerry, I'm going to tell you, no, I'm not going to even give this
David!
Not even to give you
2 years.
It's
taken almost 2 years. We got him.
Wikipedia is telling me that, actually, the end of the War of the Roses ends with the end of the Plantagenet line and the Lancaster line. So Shakespeare, I think, killed them all. So, what was the show about?
You just spoiled the whole.
Kenny, yes, they all died.
History,
That's surprise.
They all died.
They all died.
Okay,
that's history. Yeah,
that's history. That's history. Didn't spoil it.
Real people.
People been known since 1940 or something.
That's how I feel about the guy with the weakest crest or whatever the fuck he was.
This show was so bad.
Who's next? Am I next? Yeah. What do we got, Dave?
Yeah, you're next. Jerry. All right. So show number 6, Love of Kill.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I forgot that this show existed until just now.
This one actually, I'm a little interested.
The show started with like a girl, and she's trying to hunt down a guy who's also seemingly like an assassin, and the guy stops her attempt to kill her. Or to kill him, and is like, yo, I think he wants to fuck her, which is like, okay. He's like, I don't really get much woman attention. So how about
he did do that little edge.
Yeah, I was like,
he gave those vibes.
I was like, stop, dude. So then she realizes that there's like, I kind of got confused that there was like there was like 2 characters that I think looked a lot alike, and I couldn't decide if they were the same character. And there was also kind of like, I couldn't tell if things were happening in order, because then they're also like, one of the next scenes, they're like at a park, like having a conversation about. I think it's the guy she tried to kill, working with her to try to kill someone else. I think that's what happened. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
did you guys
started doing her jobs for?
Yeah, there was like, but I couldn't tell if like was that like the next thing, or are we in the past? I couldn't tell. Maybe that was I think maybe that might have been like a flash, like that first scene might have been like a flash forward, and we then have rolled back. But I couldn't tell. Honestly, the narrative.
It was kind of hard to tell.
Jim, he had no mouth.
Oh yeah, what the fuck? Her like the like assassination company she worked with. Yeah, there was the guy that like
Jim
that like didn't have a mouth.
He had no mouth.
I don't know what was up with that.
His information was just question marks.
Yeah,
so I was confused about
her. That. Like assassin boss was like, I don't know. Was he kind of into her? Like I was just like everything was kind of all over the place with this show. There was like a lot of romantic plots, but it's essentially about assassins that are killing each other but also falling in love. It's like literally like
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, I mean it's that same sort of like killer. I don't know, but this was dumb. I didn't like this one. This is so if Requiem of Rose King is like shoujo style, but it looks pretty good in anime. This is like when I was watching this one, I was like, this is when it just doesn't work for me. Like sometimes it just looks a little too deformed, and like I said, I was like having a hard time discerning if like the guy in most of the scenes was like the same guy from that opening scene, and if so, like why was she trying to kill him, or is she because they are like clearly working together. And I was like, what is going on with this plot? And then I was like, is the plot relevant? Are they just going to make out? Was at the point where I was like, I think they're just going to fuck. But like, when? I don't know. It was really strange. Yeah. But it's a show. It's a shoujo, right, David?
Yes, it's a shoujo. Shoujo series. It is, and it's a monthly shoujo series. It's animated by Platinum Vision.
I don't know who that is either.
Right now, it's still ongoing. There are 11 volumes right now, so there's a lot of content to adapt. I don't know how, like, what the pacing of the episode was.
Probably like a chapter.
It didn't feel like it was too fast. It felt pretty well paced, I think.
If it's a monthly show, I bet they adapted like 1 or 2 chapters max of a monthly, because monthlies are a little longer. But, this was whatever. Okay, read to me on the Wikipedia page, what is the, like, brief plot synopsis for this, just because I'm kind of like curious. Like
during one of her bounty hunter missions, Chateau Dankworth comes across Sun Rang Ha, a professional hitman, who begins stalking and brokering her information in exchange for a date. Though reluctant, Chateau complies yet refuses to open up to him. Despite this, Ryong Ha continues to save her when she is under attack and seems to know her past.
Okay. So
it seems like there's some background, like they know things about each other.
Yeah, that means that first scene definitely happened first, and then the park scene happened later. So, because he was definitely like, I mean, the word they used there was brokering, but like, he really was just like, "You're gonna do this job for me," and she was like, "Okay." She like pouted and was like, "Okay." You know what I mean? Like there was just like like brokering isn't the word I would have used for that interaction. Right. You know what I mean? Like
it was more just like telling them that you're gonna do this, and you're like, I guess so. Fuck me. All right.
Yeah, I guess.
Like every anime fan out there, I'm a guy that likes tsunderes, but this was just poor execution on the tsundere.
Yeah, this was really weird.
Yeah.
The episode ended with an actual fight. I forgot. Someone tried to assassinate her, and he saved her at the very end. That is how it. Okay.
Yeah.
I almost forgot that happened. Like that's how zoned out I was by the end of this episode.
When you talk about how her last name is Dankworth.
I don't know what those names
are. Her first name was Chateau.
Her name is like what, French, and his name is like Korean or Chinese.
Like Chinese.
Sun Ryong Ha. I think it's Chinese. I would assume that's Chinese.
Neither of them seem to have Japanese names, which I was like, what's going on? I was like, why?
Yeah, she's definitely like English
Japanese.
Descent. Chateau Dankworth.
Quit saying it. Chateau Dankworth, dog.
Actually, wait.
I'm about to roll up. I'm about to roll up a Chateau Dankworth, dog.
That sounds like Chateau Dankworth.
Roll a Chateau Dankworth.
Chateau Dankworth.
That sounds like some.
This was schlocky. This was schlocky. This was lame. It was boring. Like there was nothing.
I'm ready to thumb this show.
This was the type of show that, like, if you want some like grimy romance, which sometimes I mean, I could see like Bridgerton-esque, maybe not. Maybe Bridgerton's even better than this. I don't know, But Bridgerton-esque.
I would say that's better.
If you want like a slimy,
is that the name of another character, Bridgerton?
No, Bridgerton's that slimy kind of romancy schlocky thing that came on Netflix. It's kind of in that same zone of like content, and there's an audience for it. And I'm sure that's why it's still running successfully. There's an audience for this type of content. It's just not me. I'm not the audience. So
Bridgerton fans, get in the comments. Tell your wife's wrong.
There might be fans, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if someone who listens to our podcast does watch or read Love of Kill and is into it, because it is a type of thing. I mean, people like a little bit of like spice in their romance. So I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
Thumbs?
I just am over it. Wait! Yo! No! Cut that!
I gave it a sideways thumb because I have all the manga for this show, and I want to compare manga to anime. How I feel.
Really?
It's out on it. That's on his shelf. Can he go get that shit?
No, it's not. It's not on the
They're in
shelf,
boxes
bro.
now,
They're
but
boxes.
I do have all of available
boxes.
English volumes of.
Dude, you really own all of this?
I do.
Wow.
There's only 5 volumes out right now, I think.
Oh, we only got 5 in English. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's only 5.
It's
All
right,
right,
David.
David.
A manga hand.
What's our next one, bud?
All right, next one is Police in a Pod.
Oh, okay.
So, Police in a Pod is a show. So, in our first episode, we're basically going to be following cops.
Mm-hmm.
Cops are our main characters here. So, our main character, she's a female cop. She's kind of like timid to herself. She is passionate about what she does, but she's just not out and about. She's not really outspoken. And so one day on the force, and they're little police box, small little cube-shaped building. Their pod.
Yeah.
There is a new officer that joins, and she's beautiful. She's everyone's talking about her.
Yeah.
And she's partnered with our main character, whose name is Kawaii.
Mm-hmm.
And Kawaii kind of sees the true colors of Fuji, the other officer, because she's basically the bad cop to her good cop.
Mm-hmm.
She's very kind of controlling. She is trying to find ways to arrest people. Basically, a typical cop in America. And so she. Wait, nothing, guys. I thought that was pretty good.
Solid burn.
Okay.
Solid fucking burn towards the American cop system.
Hey, anyway,
as if everybody listening needs to know cops in America fucking suck, dog. No, I'm just,
the American police
we all
force
know
is an occupying army.
Okay. Anyway, so basically, we have good cop, bad cop, and there's lots of comedy. The bad cop. There's a scene in the show in the first episode where she's like, what the fuck are you doing? There's it bleeps out a bunch of her words, and they're that was kind of humorous.
Oh, I found it.
There's a scene at the end of the episode where Kawaii's dad makes a comment about how beautiful Fuji is. Of I thought it's kind of it's sexist. It's pretty fucked up. But he says I thought all police women were bear-like, but I didn't. Now they look like porn stars. It was okay, that's a weird line.
Yeah, it was.
It was memorable, but it's a weird line.
I feel like I didn't see any of these scenes. What is going on?
Really?
Did I watch the wrong show?
No, you must have watched the right one. That was in there.
You watched the right one.
You didn't. You don't remember any of that, kid?
I don't
Those
remember
are
the two. I don't remember the whole introduction. What is going on?
Remember at the end, it's the two of them are eating dinner with her dad, and she's introducing Fuji to her dad, and he's drunk and he's saying stuff.
Kenny didn't get through this one.
Kenny didn't get through this
No
one.
way.
But,
wait, no, they find the little girl at the park, and then her dad's raping her, or stepdad's raping her. Right? That was this episode of the show.
Go on.
Yeah, there was multiple vignettes of things that occurred with the two characters. Did you only watch half of it, maybe?
No way.
Maybe. Did you see the scene? Did you see the scene where they caught the guy that was a serial burglar, and they brought him back to the police station, and the
beginning of the show, the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, the older cop was "Hey, you should practice on him." and then the younger cop practices on him. Kenny didn't. I don't know what happened here again.
How did I only see the vignette about the girl in the park?
I don't know. You watched like one clip and you were like, I got it.
But some final things. So this is a seinen. Pretty obvious because there's a lot of subject matter in the show. That's
this one's actually an adult show. It's about adults doing adult things.
Right. Yeah. And it's anime is adapted by Madhouse, which I thought the animation was pretty
incredible. Like for no reason. For a comedy, it was just like really well animated. I was like, they got the guys who did the first season of One Punch Man to do this one. I'm like, what? Okay.
So overall, I was a fan of the show. I think I'll keep watching it because of it seems like it's just like a case by case, like episodic type of piece where we just see the good cop, bad cop dynamic and just see them resolve problems, which I mean, I think that's always pretty entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I think that like the main thing that drew me in about this show is the main character. You know, the show opens with her saying like that she was about to quit like her job as a cop. And essentially the idea is that like everything, you know, when the new girl gets transferred in, which, you know, she got transferred down, I believe, if I remember correctly, she was like an upper officer and she did something inappropriate or something that got her pushed down into a pod. And that is sort of the inciting incident that leads to the rest of the show. It is a bit of an episodic comedy, but there's enough like underlying themes there, like, you know, why the character wants to quit her job, her past relationship with her dad that led to her even becoming a cop in the first place, her inabilities and her insecurities. There was enough like thematic stuff going on in this comedy that it almost felt to some degree like a little bit of a drama. And I actually really enjoyed that because you don't get that sort of depth out of your characters in a lot of these anime comedies where sometimes like we watched that stupid vampire show last season.
Vampire Dies in No Time.
Yeah, which is like, it was funny, but you don't usually get comedies that have any sort of depth. But that one was super funny. I felt like this one had a couple solid jokes, but also I was like kind of invested in the two main characters, the two female leads. And I was like, damn, these are pretty cool characters. And it led me to go like, huh. And also, obviously, Madhouse's animation makes you like, it's way easier to get bought in when the animation's really well done. The artwork's really well done. And the vocal work was really like just across the board. This was a very well done show, and I think that makes you easier to invest in a comedy when something's just really well done. So I don't know. For me, this might be one of my favorite shows that came out this season because I just liked it beginning to end. I was like, oh, this was just a really good episode of something that I'm actually. And generally, I don't like slice of life. Generally, I don't even like episodic stuff mostly, unless it's doing something. But I like that they can play with. It gives them the room to play with serious stuff and to play with funny stuff. And I like that. And I think there could be some really fun setups in future episodes that might interest me. So
the manga won the 66 Shoga Kukan Manga Award too last year.
Shoga Kukan?
Shoga Kukan.
I think that Blue Lock won that this year.
Oh, wow. All right, boys. What are y'all thinking?
Oh, yeah. That's interesting. Thumbs up? I mean, I liked it. I don't know
if I even watched this show, so I guess
Kenny didn't watch it.
I think this is my first thumbs up of the night.
Oh, okay.
I feel good about
Maybe you're only one too.
Maybe actually, honestly. Maybe. Wait till we get to some of the
Well, there's one more.
I think there's at least
two more. Kenny's like, I don't know if I watch it sideways thumb.
Tell me your favorite one.
Kenny, you're next.
All right. The next show that we're gonna be talking about is In the Land of Leadale.
Oh fuck! How'd you give him that?
It just
okay. Next show. What's the next show? In the Land of Leadale is another paint by numbers shit ass isekai.
I mean, it is.
She's level 1 billion. She fucks up dragons or something. And she's isekai. She actually didn't die by Truck-kun, or that's what we think. But here's my theory: Truck-kun actually hit the generator for the hospital that turned off her life support. So, Truck-kun's always.
That's a good fucking theory, Kenny. Yes, dude.
Okay, I'm just saying. I think maybe Truck-kun hit the generator, turned off the hospital bed. She was like sick, and so now whenever she's isekai'd, she's so thankful to be like living, but she's also like level 1 billion or whatever. She was like, "Oh, I'm level 16,788, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, this show.
And then like she like scolds a tower, she eats. There are 2 separate scenes where she eats a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then she finds out she has kids.
Yep, that was it.
Yep.
That's the Land of Leadale. And
That's
it was
first episode.
It was so bad. I was so upset watching this show.
I'm not gonna lie.
I think this is the first one I watched too, and I was like, "This is gonna be bad."
It just sucks because like this is. I mean, it's just a bog standard ass isekai. Like, what's this? David?
Guys.
Okay,
this
David,
show is doing something different. All right. Okay, it's not, but every season I have a shit ass anime that I just gravitate towards. And
I can get
a show.
I can respect it as a bit of a guilty pleasure. That's fine. I mean, it had some cool fantasy elements. It has a video game element to it, which is like with isekais, like sometimes the video game elements
for me always entertaining.
Right. So I definitely might prefer the video game element over just like random ass fantasy world. So like the fact that she like uses menus and like is clearly in a video game, but like 100 years in the future or whatever it was, 200 years in the future. So there's some things there. They're trying to kind of mix it up. I do like that it's a female instead of a male protagonist. You usually get males in these sorts of things. So she's like an overpowered girl. I don't know.
What happened to level 1 billion witch or whatever? We watched like 2 seasons.
Slimes, or I've been killing slimes for 300 years.
Level.
That's the one.
Whatever.
But yeah, so Jared, this was originally a light novel. Adapted to a manga.
No, it wasn't.
It was a light novel?
No, are you shitting me? It was a light novel. I just never.
Originally a light novel.
I've never seen a fantasy or isekai manga or anime ever be adapted. This is crazy. This is a whole new thing.
This is a first. I mean, I was telling you, this is doing things that others aren't doing. And it's adapted by Maho Film, which has done works such as I'm Standing on a Million Lives season 2.
Wow,
season 1.
We really love that
Gary's
show.
favorite anime.
God, I hated that one.
If it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat a demon lord, and By the Grace of the Gods. So this is the 5th show, the 5th work that they've done. So
those are all isekais.
Yeah,
they're all isekai. Yeah,
it's like an isekai adaptation studio. They're like, okay, we'll take the lead here. No.
They said, "What? Listen, this is just money. Print it out."
Honestly, it's kind of true. They pick out whatever light novel has got a little bit of buzz. They throw it into an anime.
These are all light novels that they've adapted.
So disappointing. This show was
the opening wasn't even good. So
yeah,
it wasn't.
I'm actually on the kitty. I'm kind of on the kitty train on this one. I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but
I don't know.
It was incredibly standard. It was incredibly like mediocre. It was just whatever.
Yeah. When I said that this show is doing something that other shows aren't doing, that was a lie. There's nothing creative or unique in this show.
There David goes explaining his sarcasm real quick. He was like, wow. I don't know if you guys understood.
Actually, I was sarcastic. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys missed that part, but I was actually joking.
I just want you to be aware. You know.
All right, David. Is it my turn? Yeah, it's my turn. What's up?
You're up, Jerry.
What do we got?
This is Tokyo 24th Ward.
Oh, okay.
I love this show, kind of. Like, I actually really liked it.
I like this one.
Essentially, you've got 3 guys, red, green, blue, and they all sort of have these aspirations in... it's like the future, but it's like explicitly the past. If that makes any sense. It's like the first scene takes place in 2020, which leads me to believe that someone wrote this years ago. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, well, that's weird that this is 2 years in the past. I don't remember what their real names were, but the red, green, and blue. They essentially, in the first opening scene, they try to save a friend of theirs from a school that's on fire, and the three of them kind of use their skills to try to go and save her. And unfortunately, I think the blue guy, I think it was the blue guy. The blue guy comes up short, and she dies in the fire. Blue. Comes up short. Yeah. She dies in the fire. We get a time skip a year into the future. It's now 2021. Again, still in the past. We're still not in the future, but there's like obviously like futuristic stuff going on. This is still like it's 2021. So it's now a year later. It's 2021, and they're attending sort of like her memorial service. And after attending the service, they're sort of having food after, and suddenly they get like a mysterious phone call from the dead friend of theirs, and all 3 of them step away, take the call, and then it like zooms inside of their nose, and I was like, what the fuck? The animation goes buck wild.
Ears.
They had
whatever.
a brain blast.
Yeah, you're right. In the ears, it zooms in their head, and the animation goes buck wild for a couple seconds, and then suddenly they all have their natural talents are amplified, and they're essentially presented with there's like a name for this philosophy argument, but the idea that like if you turn the train, everyone on the train dies, but the person on the track lives. If you don't turn the train murders the person on the track, and you have to deal with it. They're presented with like the natural philosophy argument, and they're told like, "Hey, this is going to happen," and they all are like, "What the fuck was that?" As they're driving to their next destination, they all come to the realization like, "Oh shit, we all have powers. We all got that same phone call. This is really going to happen IRL," and they all kick into action and start to try to prevent their other friend, who ends up being the person on the train track, from being killed by the impending train. Blue guy has like super parkour powers. Red guy,
he was Spider-Man.
Blue guy is like literally like a superhero.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
like,
yeah.
He literally was just like jumping for buildings.
Yeah,
and
just
shit.
jumping and rolling and
He was
dashing
parkour.
and power.
Parkour and
What's the name
everywhere.
of that PS3 game?
And then
he was actually playing. What was that game?
Red
Mirror's
guy,
Edge?
oh,
Mirror's Edge. Yeah, he was Mirror Edge. He was out here running on Mirror's Edge.
Red guy is like a super hacker, and green guy is like a politician. That's like their combined powers. So they use their powers to just make sure they put themselves in an advantage situation. They end up saving both the person on the tracks and the people on the train. So everybody lives.
And the dog. And the dog.
Yeah, and this was an hour-long first episode, which was kind of surprising.
Long episode.
But it seems like they're setting... If I were to guess, the following episodes are going to be setting up more like psychology experiments and then making them overcome them using their 3 powers. That's my guess. That seems to be the base setup here. And yeah, I mean, the characters were fun. The interactions were cool. So I don't know. What was this about, David? Tell me
the answer to the trolley problem is just save the girl.
The trolley problem. Thank you. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
So this is an original work by Cloverworks.
Right.
And yeah, that's it.
Click on the writer or director. Like, is anyone from this show like associated with an older original
Yeah, I was trying
anime?
to look at I was trying to look at that, and the director of this show has directed JoJo's Part 1 and Part 3 and Part 4. Wait, this is the director of JoJo's.
Oh, he's like one of the head directors of JoJo's. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, he is the executive creative director for the TV adaptation of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure by David Production.
Wow, and so he's also directing this show. That's kind of cool.
He's directing this show. And other notable shows he's directed...
What about the writer?
The writer...
That's the one thing I was kind of curious about. I was like, I wonder who the writer of this show is. Because generally that person is kind of credited as like...
the director is Naokatsu Suda. The writer is Vio Shimakura.
Mm-hmm.
And they have written... This is their... Well, they wrote an ONA in 2016 called Tokyo Garashi. Apparently, it's rated really poorly, but...
Well, yeah.
And this is their second work, so...
Weird. So this is pretty interesting. So you got the director of JoJo's and some newbie writers writing an original Cloverworks anime. Pretty interesting combination of stuff. It really was... and probably
the person that's doing the music for the show has done a shit ton of music for Capcom games. Like...
That's why it was so
Street
good.
Fighter 4, MVC3.
I was gonna say, didn't this one have a banger opening too? I want to remember.
This one had a banger opening.
Yeah. Well, they did Budokai Tenkaichi 2.
Damn.
Fire.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys.
Actually-
What do you guys think of this one? What do you guys think of Tokyo 24th?
I think
I like this one.
I like the two. I think the weakest thing for this show for me was there were animation parts where things were like
Yeah, they spent
like
too much money
poorly
on.
CGI'd. I don't know if it's just because it's episode 1 and it was like an hour long, but yeah, there was just some moments when the animation looked a little sloppy.
X-Arm. They went full X-Arm on it.
Not that bad,
Yeah,
but it definitely went a little. I don't know if it was like off. What's it called? Off frame or whatever. But it just looked a little weird.
But then when it zoomed in their ears, it was like crazy.
It was like Code Lyoko.
That animation scene of it going in their ears was so out of place that it like jarred me. Like I was like, this just
Yeah, it was a little Jimmy Neutron.
yeah.
Brain
I was like,
blast.
this just doesn't even belong in this show. I was like very confused.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought like the animation of blue haired guy like being all parkoury was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think they like put a lot of focus and attention on that part, which was smart.
What'd you guys think of the three main characters?
They were cool.
They seem like pretty typical tropey characters.
Right.
Like you got your smart one, you got your lazy one, you got your strong one.
Yeah.
I did kind of like their relationship, though. I think they played off each other well.
I wanted to note that too,
Yeah.
Ken. I thought they wrote the dialogue and exchanges between the three of them pretty well. Led me to believe that they were like longtime friends. They had some history together. There was a lot, just like little. But you're right. Then it became like as soon as like the mission started, they like just went full trope mode. You know, like I'm the hacker.
What about
I'm the politician? Well, I'm the strong one. You know.
What about the opening scene where he's just like bonk bonk?
Oh my god.
And you're like, he's just like bonk bonk him, bonk him to bed.
And so I made a note of that. I was like, because they just stood there for like 4 seconds, and he was like headbutt.
Yeah, he's like,
I was like, that's weird timing.
Yeah. I don't know. This was a. I think I liked this one just because it was pretty fun. Like it was just fun.
Yeah.
Like it was just borderline fun. I mean, there was some cool concepts. It was fun to watch. But that was pretty much it for me. You know, I think I went in hoping it was going to be Skate, and I came out and it was like I don't know,
not Skate.
You know,
not Skate.
I was kind of hoping it was going to be as good as Skate, but I came out feeling meh.
It's like a little bit of mystery too, because the sister that we think or thought or whatever was dead was the person that called them on the phone.
Right.
So we don't know if that's someone just using a fake voice or whatever it goes. So I mean, it could really be anything.
Right.
So little extra reason to keep watching.
Yeah.
I do think the ending scene was also really like good. Yeah, it just showed the relationship too, like where he was like super hopeful, and the other two were like, well. We pretty clearly saw her die, so.
Oh yeah, I thought that was fun. Yeah.
I think that was the point. I don't think it was supposed to be so explicit.
No,
about
yeah,
it.
I think it
was
was
said earlier, like he's family member. I had a family member pass. You know, they're like, okay, gotta be someone, and then you.
The guys, because the dad is that's their dad, right? The politician,
the governor,
yeah. So that was kind of the angle there that one was related in on it, but
I thought the music was great.
Yeah,
I kind of loved when
Green eat that food.
Green did his like power, and he was like, "I've got to do it. I've got to talk to him." And then he was like, "Pshing!" And then he like got in his ear and was like, Shh. And he was like, "I'm ordering this." Yeah, I was like, "Whoa,
like, mother and sister." Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, he went fucking mind control mode, is what it felt like. Whatever.
Yeah,
it was a fun show. This was a fun show. It was not. It was just fun. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah. I'll probably watch some more of this one.
Okay, guys. Tokyo 24th Ward on 3, 2, 1. That's a side. That's a side for me. All right, I respect it.
I just looked up the opening though. Apparently, the production studio has been taking down the opening on YouTube. So
why?
I don't know. I had to click like 3 videos until I found
odd.
One.
Classic. Crunchyroll.
It was a good song. That's why.
Yeah, Crunchyroll will probably upload it soon enough. They usually upload new shows openings.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, boyos.
Right. So our next show,
David, what are you taking the reins?
Yeah, 3 shows remaining. So these are
only 3 left.
If David gets the good one out of these 3, Jerry,
David, wait.
I got the worst one of the 3.
I count.
So
4.
you have the best one.
David, I count. 4.
So
yeah, David, I'm also counting 4 because I counted 5 before the last one.
We definitely have 4 left.
Let's do the next 3 and then we'll figure out.
We'll do the next 3 and then we'll figure it out.
I mean, I know which 4. I just don't know which 3 you have that aren't. You know what I mean? Like I don't know which one you're missing. But just do it. Just go.
So this one is called Orient.
Okay.
So fun fact: this is made by the same mangaka that made Maggie. So that's pretty cool, or so I thought. And so this is a show.
Orient, aka Thanks. I hate it.
Yeah. So this is a show about you got your main character. His name is Musashi. And he's typical shonen protagonist. He's like happy, he's cheerful, he's friendly, he wants to get strong. And him and his friend were kind of raised with the idea of like being samurai to defeat like evil monsters. And then so that's when they were young, and then we kind of flash forward to the present day where they're basically slaves, or Musashi is basically a slave, and he's working in the mines. And it's a world where, there's no such thing as monsters. You guys are dumb. That's like fairy tale. Those never existed. And so, like the day comes where it's like a coming of age festival, Everyone's excited. Musashi's like, oh yeah, I can show people that, he has this, his weapon is like, it's a pickaxe, but it's like a, like
they say it's a pickaxe, but it looks like a fucking scythe.
Yeah, it's like a giant scythe.
He like explicitly said like, it's a pickaxe, but it's a katana or something like that. And I was
I was like, wait, that's a scythe?
Fuck are you
I think that's what that would
about?
be called. And so this is coming of age festival. All the miners go there. Miners, as in people who mine, and they go into this dungeon-like area, and all of a sudden, surprise, surprise, monsters are real, and they're enslaving these people to mine a specific thing. I can't remember what it was. And so Musashi's like, oh shit, good thing I have my pickaxe katana. And his friend comes and helps him, and then the two of them fight these monsters. So that's essentially the first episode. And I think that covers the entire first chapter in the manga. So pacing was fine. I thought animation was kind of meh. I honestly can't really... There's not a lot of memorable things about this show. I don't think the opening was good.
No, so it wasn't. That band has done an opening for One Piece, and I actually like their One Piece song. But this song I don't like as much, yeah.
Well, damn.
I like
Don't worry, Crunchyroll has already uploaded this opening.
They thought this was going to be hot.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think this was very hyped because Maggie mangaka. And I think the manga's been selling kind of well.
I need to go back.
The animation studio there?
Oh, ACGT, Jerry.
I don't know.
I need to go back and tell you guys how fucking
they've
crazy
done.
Maggie gets in the
Oh,
back
they did.
half, okay.
They did.
I think you did Unravel on Maggie once, right? Back when we were doing Unravels. Man, those are good old days. We gotta bring Unravels back. What, David? What'd they do? What manga they do? Or what
so they did Freezing.
Oh, I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Dies Array, a certain scientific accelerator. Do you love your mom and her 2-hit multi-target attack?
Oh, that's Kenny's favorite MILF manga.
I do like that one.
Yep.
But it's done Initial D 4th stage.
Cool.
It's also done some random Initial D OVAs.
Okay.
But yes, there's some random stuff here and there. But yeah, the animation was like kind of meh.
I'm yawning hard. I do not know why, guys. I'm trying to wake.
It's
You're tired, you
Orient. Orient is getting you sleepy.
I know.
Yeah. I feel like this is a show where like animation is like make or break. Like it could pop off and make it really entertaining to watch, or it can screw it all up and not make it entertaining.
Yeah, I mean,
to watch,
like with most shonen stories, like sometimes if something's just beautifully animated, like the story gets irrelevant all of a sudden. But when something's like pretty mediocre animation wise, what is that, Kenny? I don't know what I'm looking at.
I don't hear anything.
Hey, that's the opening to One Piece.
Oh,
is this TVXQ?
Opening to Orient?
No,
is it TVXQ?
No, it's
Dice.
Dice. They made a One Piece opening, but this is one of those situations where I don't even think that if this was like super well animated, would it have really improved this series. Where the fuck did he get the pickaxe? Why the fuck did they make samurais that killed him be locked to their swords? The demons are obviously buffoons. The whole world, all the deities intentionally had demon horns, so the like subversion was like just very obvious from the moment the show started. I mean, this was just bad. It was just it just felt like Shonen Soup. Like they just were like, oh,
there's a lot of holes.
It felt like
a lot of
Shonen
holes.
Soup.
Shonen Soup. Dog. They just threw like every goofy shonen. You know, it's like how Hiro Mashima writes stuff. Like he just like throws shonen tropes into a bowl and like pulls them out. Like that's what this show felt like. Someone just literally this is Mad Libs too. This was the shonen Mad Libs, honestly. Oh, he's got a giant like how obviously he's a shonen protagonist. He has a fucking giant mechanical pickaxe at his mining school, and all the other kids are like, "Oh, Musashi's the best miner in our academy." And obviously he's the best. He's got a pickaxe 3 times the size of yours, you dumbass. I was like,
bro,
why is this?
He's whipping.
I love you when people look at that and are like, "Oh yeah, I mean that's just his pickaxe." I mean,
like nobody like questions.
He's the only one strong.
Where did he get it? Where did the pickaxe come from, guys? I just don't. Oh my god!
He just pulled it out of his magic pocket, Jerry.
And then he walked. They walked through a door. Like, was it like the exit door?
Yeah.
To like what the fuck? Like nobody's
door?
Walked through the door before. Like the door to your city. There was so many things where I was just like, who wrote this? This show was whatever. If you want an Eden Zero fairy tale, just like Shonen Soup show, I mean, I guess you could throw this one on, but there's like better Shonen Soup to watch. Like you could watch Fire Force instead. You know, like that's like Shonen
Not every
Soup,
show
but
can
like
be
still pretty fun.
Jujutsu Kaisen. Okay,
Right.
Not every show can be. Not every show can make me care for someone like Yuji Itadori. Okay.
Yeah, like
That's true.
it's like people. I feel like we take our JJKs for granted when we realize like the other shonen magazines are pumping out Orient. Like, you know what I mean? Like, This is what the other magazines' quality and caliber is. Like, that's why we praise JJK so much, because this is the shit that they're making on the What's wrong with you, Kodansha?
It's funny that you mentioned JJK because the same voice actor voices Megumi Fushiguro that voices Musashi.
Oh,
So.
wow. That's a
Were the names
interesting-
Musashi and Kojiro?
Yep, Musashi and Kojiro.
What kind of? You can't even come up with a smarter name.
No, they're named after Japanese samurai legends. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but like, come on.
It was.
But come on, Jerry, come on.
It was dumb.
Just like in his last goddamn show, their names were Aladdin and Alibaba.
Oh yeah, he did do that before, actually.
Yeah.
So kind of par the course for the author here.
At least this guy's hair is red instead of. Although all he did was rotate the hairs, I think.
Also, we talk about like.
Because like Alibaba has blonde hair, Aladdin has blue hair.
The voice actor Kojiro does. He's in 4 shows or 3 shows this season.
Go on.
He's the main character in Genius Prince, and he's.
What was that show?
I
don't think that was the name of it. I think
he's like a side. He's like a side.
Genius
character.
Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt, Kenny. That was
the
Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt. You got to say the whole. Yeah, you got to say the whole sentence to talk about that.
He's also in Tokyo 24th Ward. So
cool.
Oh.
It's interesting.
No, yeah. The guy rotated everybody's hair color though. In Maggie, it's Aladdin has blue hair, Alibaba has blonde hair, and Morgiana has red hair. But now in this one, Kojiro has red hair. So
Musashi has red hair.
Musashi has red hair, Kojiro has blonde hair, and then the girl has blue hair, maybe? I don't know.
Can we just talk about how anime has gotten so Mad Libs that somehow in the same season, a fantasy and a shonen show both are using the demons have convinced everyone that they're not the bad guy trope at the somehow the strongest age with the weakest crest and Orient both have the same hook. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then not just that, but Orient and Sabikui Bisco, which we're going to talk about in a bit, both have red-haired protagonists. I was like, what's happening? I was like, why is this all just interchangeable like muck? Like it was all just muck, dude. Everything was muck.
Well, that show.
I like that one.
Cool,
Sabikui was actually, no, we'll get it. Rust World or whatever it translates to, but yeah, we'll get into that one. I actually liked it a lot better than Orient, but
I'm ready to thumb Orient because
me too.
I got nothing else to add to that show.
Yeah. Orient in 3, 2, 1.
Read Maggie instead.
Yeah, I think if you want to read a shonen story by this guy, read Maggie.
Maggie's pretty fucking wild whenever you get into it.
Yeah, I feel like Maggie's at least a little bit of a more fun ride. It feels a little bit less like just cut and paste.
Yeah.
But all right. David, did you
What's
describe
the
this?
next show?
Is it Kenny's turn?
It's my turn.
I did it, so now it's Kenny's turn.
Kenny, it's your turn.
So Kenny, it's funny that you mentioned what was it? Sakurai?
Is that next? Sabikui? I don't know how to say it. Sabikui.
You mentioned Sakurai? Are we talking about
Sabikui-
Smash?
Sabikui Bisco.
Sabikui
Kenny.
Bisco. I think it's just for Rust World Bisco or something.
It translates to Rust Eater Bisco.
Oh, Rust Eater Bisco.
Rust Eater Bisco. This is about, it's post-apocalyptic.
Yep.
Where mushrooms cause rust, which kills people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our main character is actually the doctor.
Yeah, I think it could be I think it might be like a double protagonist. Like I think the doctor and the red-haired guy might both end up being.
Right. Komatsu is the main character, Toriko, right?
Right, but Toriko's also the side. Yeah.
Right. So the doctor, there's this doctor who's really talented. And but he only helps people in the slums because he's like a good guy. And currently there's a wanted criminal, Bisco, who is pretty much hinted to have snuck into the city early on, and they're called mushroom terrorists.
Yeah.
They summon mushrooms that create the rust, I guess.
You're right.
But there's some weird political shit going on, so I'm thinking maybe the rust is not created by the mushrooms.
The government's involved. There's a government. There's like a third played by Kenjiro Suda. It's the who's a really great
president or the mayor.
Yeah, some sort of governmental organization that clearly doesn't want the doctor doing what he does, but also doesn't want the mushroom guy doing what he does. And I think the doctor's sister might work for the government. I think
she's maybe like the head of the task force.
Yeah, so she's also involved in that.
And so this episode, it just sort of introduces us to the characters, and like that's it. And then Bisco starts shooting arrows. I guess you shoot arrows to summon mushrooms.
Oh yeah, he's like he's got an arrow. Even though the bad guys have just normal guns and shit, like normal modern stuff, but he shoots arrows. He's like Hawkeye. It was kind of cool. The narrative on this was super cool because it did like a. I don't know what the word, maybe like split narrative might be the word for it, but essentially there was like two stories kind of happening and they kind of collided at the back end of the first episode.
Right. It was like Bisco sneaking into the city,
right,
while Panda Sensei was curing the people, trying to save everybody from the rust.
Yes,
getting mushrooms to make a new medicine for his sister.
And the episode ends with them face to face, like they were in his apartment face to face, the doctor and Bisco. So. And I think the doctor is voiced by Tanjiro, if I'm remembering correctly. I think it's Tanjiro's voice actor.
Oh, really?
I think so.
By Natsuki Hanae.
I want to say
I know which anime David is forgetting now.
I don't know which one. It's got to be. It's got to be.
It has to be the other one.
Yeah, it's got to be the other one. I think.
Wait, what are you guys talking about?
Which one isn't on your list? Because you think there's only one left.
No, this is the one that wasn't on my list.
Oh, you found it. You found it.
It was Restitutor Bisco.
Oh, you had left off Bisco. Okay, so you know what the other two are. Okay, whatever.
It was still pretty cool. I like the music.
It was pretty well animated. Yeah, I like that too.
Character design was cool.
Oh yeah, I really.
Who was the animation team?
His sister was a waifu. She was a waifu.
The animation team.
When she was in bed, Kenny, I didn't notice it, but then she stood up and put her shit on.
Once she got her outfit on, I was like, wait a second.
I was like, Panda Sensei, sign me up, bro.
Panda Sensei's sister though.
Sign Studio Oz.
I don't know about them. And isn't this based off a light novel?
This is
only because I know we saw the light novel in person.
Yeah. This is based off a light novel.
Okay, yeah, weird. This is a very unique light novel compared to what I'm used to with light novels.
Yeah,
which is the weakest pee-pee holder has two pee-pees and he can't get out of the house. I don't know.
Jerry, what were the words that just came out of your mouth?
He's too weak, so he can't get out of the house. Come on, David, are you not following? There's one pee-pee hole that's weak, and he's the weakest of the pee-pee holes.
Studio Oz has, and they've done.
Got him.
Urusei Yatsura, the 1985 version. Wait, no way.
That's kind of cool.
Studio Oz is a cleanup and finishing studio.
Oh, weird. Oh my god.
They don't have their own Wikipedia page. So
here's how I feel about. With this show, like, the story was actually kind of cool. The post-apocalyptic world was cool. The characters were fun. It wasn't expo heavy. You know how, like, we've talked about this in the past. One of the shows that really made me mad was Talked OP Destiny or whatever. That first episode was so exposition heavy that it made me really bored. This show gave me just enough exposition for me to be curious about the mysteries that were underneath. And the characters were fun enough that you weren't torn away from the action. And I think by doing the whole split narrative between the two throughout the first episode, it actually it almost felt like a movie to some degree. Like it almost felt like the opening act of a film, which I thought was kind of a cool element to it. And yeah, the voice work was pretty solid across the board too. Overall, this was a surprising show for me because I went into it with zero expectation, but it surprised me by having a cool world that it built, some cool characters in that world, and some moderately designed mysteries and the mushrooms and the rust and the all this stuff that was kind of cool that I actually would be willing to maybe watch more.
Opening song, banger.
Also, this one was good. I think definitely the best openings were probably this one and 24th Ward. Oh, wait. I really liked one of the ones we're going to talk about, but we'll get to it.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
There's one other opening that I really liked from one of the 2 shows we have left. But, okay. Kenny, David, any other thoughts on Sabikui Bisco?
No, it was just a really fun one.
In 3, 2, 1!
Oh, yeah, fuck me.
I'm going to do side. I just don't know if I'll commit to it, but I could see myself watching a little bit more if I get bored.
Jerry's got anime commitment issues.
Guys. I actually it's just one of those things where it's, Police in a Pod.
I like the Mad Max vibes of this, so.
Yeah, I did too.
All right, Jerry, you ready for your favorite one?
Mm-hmm. Is it my turn?
Wait, who just did the last
one? Did he just do that one?
Oh.
Did he really?
No, he did. Okay.
I did.
Okay, last two, the two big ones.
Which one are you giving me, I guess?
World's End Harem.
God damn it.
He took the good one.
Yeah, he saved the best. He saved the best for him. No, I got. I'd rather us end with the.
Yeah, I would too.
Here's the deal. World's End Harem is incredibly simple. There's a male. He has multiple sclerosis. He has to be put on ice for 5 years. He wakes up 5 years later and figures out that the man killer virus, or the MKV, killed every man in the world except for men with multiple sclerosis, and there's only 5 of them. He's one of 5. He's been brought back to life to pretty much be a fucking sex pig and just impregnate as many women as he can. This is the setup for the show, just to make everybody listening clear. That is the plot. But the lead character does not want to fuck all of these women. He has his eyes set only for his love interest from the past, and she has disappeared. Nobody knows where she is. So he's decided he's going to figure out a way to cure the man killer virus, and he's going to save himself and not have sex with any of the many women that are throwing themselves at him, so that he can have sex with his childhood crush, essentially. That's pretty much all you get in the first episode. We don't really get much beyond that. We know that there's some other guys that are going to wake up that also are going to have to become essentially like sex hounds. He gets, I don't know the best word. He gets sexually assaulted by his like caretaker. She just like comes in the room naked and like jumps on top of him. And he's like, no. I don't know. I don't know.
Thinks about it and he's like, wait, no, I don't.
No.
I don't want.
This show, World's End Harem is not a show you watch for any other reason than to, it's like
be nasty.
Yeah, it's softcore porn.
It's a fantasy.
It's softcore porn with like a fantasy out. Yeah, like a not.
It's fantasy. A very typical harem type of storyline where there's one man and all these women, and he has to fuck them all in order for life to continue. And
in reality, Crunchyroll took all of that away from us by creating potentially the worst censoring in the name of anime history. It's not just a little blur effect. It's not just a little line. They like just straight blacked out whole.
Blocked it out.
And not just that, but like the frame rate would drop. At least when I was watching it, it was like the moment the fucking censors would go on, the frame rate would like it just did not know what the fuck was going on. It was like Crunchyroll butchered that show. I think that there's probably an uncensored version out there. But at least it wasn't on Crunchyroll when I checked. I don't think it is now, which is weird because Crunchyroll has uncensored anime on there. It's not like they don't have other shows, so maybe they'll put the uncensored version on later. I think that's
so weird.
You watch the show for the nudity. This is not a show you're watching for the plot. So I think anyone would be a little odd to be watching it uncensored because you're watching it to see anime titties. I mean, that's just the reality of what this show is. It's a show about anime titties. So, it's not that the plot isn't a little bit fun. For a harem, it is actually kind of a fun plot, and I've read a couple volumes of the manga. I think it actually, they're like the second and third guys that wake up kind of get their own storylines. There's some like fun stuff going on here, but at the core of it, it's just a harem with like a sci-fi setting. And Crunchyroll ruined it. That's all. That's all I have to say about it. What was the team behind it? I know it's based off a manga.
The anime studio is a joint between Studio Gokumi and Axis.
I don't know either of them.
Which I've never heard of either.
Yeah.
Suyogakumi did. I don't recognize any of these shows. And then Axis did shows I don't recognize. So
great. So here we are.
It looks like these two studios have worked together on multiple works in the past because a lot of the animes are on both of their wikis. But yeah, I thought the animation itself was pretty good. I like.
Yeah, I thought the art and animation was actually pretty clean.
I could see it when it wasn't like erased.
It was stylized a little different than the manga, which kind of took me like the style, the way they stylized some of the.
Blurrier.
Yeah, it was just a little. I think it's just because the manga, whoever the mangaka was, is a pretty like detailed artist. Is the word I would use. Like they use a lot of like hard shades, like hard tones, and it looks pretty. And also, just they draw women very, very well. It kind of got simplified a little bit in the anime, which happens a lot with anime when they try to adapt something that's like a more detailed series. But overall, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad animation or art. Pretty
good.
It's a really weird show. It's like a weird first episode to like rate. I don't know, like.
Yeah, kind of exactly what you said happens, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
I think the censoring really fucked this show up, though.
Yeah,
there's going to be a lot more as the story goes on.
Oh, it gets way more porny. Like I don't know how else to put it. Like it just gets more porny and porny as it goes along, which means that like the censored version will just become more and more unwatchable because you'll just be watching nothing. Like you'll just be watching black boxes, which is like, again, you're not like nobody woke up and was like, I really want to watch World's End Harem for the plot. Like no, that's like nobody in the world exists. That person isn't real. It can't hurt you. I don't know. So I don't really have a lot to say about this except I still liked it because I do think it's funny and fun and the ecchi of it's a lot of fun. But the censoring just kind of was like,
yeah.
Wait, did you guys know that there's a VR game of World's End Harem?
Yeah, I think Alex played it.
Yeah, actually, I think we actually saw a live demonstration at Ecchi Expo.
Yeah, he pretty much played it right in front of us, David. Yeah. So, oh wait, you weren't watching. You were busy.
Oh, I watched the end of it.
Yeah.
The end first I believe it was first orgasm of the day, if I remember.
First orgasm.
Yeah, if I remember correct. Yeah, if I'm remembering the story correctly, first orgasm of the day.
He was the first one to give her the orgasm.
But Alex was fingering that VR girl in that game, and he.
Yep. He put the heart inside. He was hitting her with the heart.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Honestly.
The guys kept saying, "Hit her,
hit her, hit her, hit her,
hit her."
He like grabbed her by the throat at one point, and I was like, "Alex?" And I was like, "Stop,
Alex."
He was like, "Oh, how do I hug her?" Oh
what
no.
Yeah, that was weird too. Whatever. World's End Harem. I am going to give it a side thumb too. If there's an uncensored version, I'll watch the whole season. I'm not gonna lie. If Crunchyroll puts up the fully uncensored version, I'll probably watch the whole season just because I like the show. I like the manga.
Same.
But
Same. I like the manga too.
All right, boys.
Hey, David. Are you gonna take this greatest anime of the season?
I'll take the last one. All right. So the last show of the season that we're going to be talking about tonight on this episode is called My Dress Up Darling.
Oh, everybody. It's like for the last 2 hours, every viewer has been like waiting, like, where the fuck is My Dress Up Darling?
Where's My Dress Up Darling?
They're probably sitting there like clicking, like, oh my god, like, did they just forget about My Dress Up Darling? Like, oh my god.
No, wait, what is that? I've never heard of that.
Where's My Dress Up Darling?
So My Dress Up Darling is about our main character Gojo. He's in high school. All of his life, he's loved working on dolls.
Gojo? Satoru Gojo?
Oh, Satoru Gojo?
Wrong Gojo.
Is it his dad or his grandpa? I think it's his grandpa.
It's his grandpa.
His grandfather.
Grandpa. So him and his grandpa, they have like a little like doll making shop, and he loves making the outfits for the dolls. And when he was younger, there's like a flashback in the beginning of the episode where he's like bullied by, I think, his sister or some other girl. It's like, you're a boy, you shouldn't be playing with dolls. That's weird. And we kind of get the sense of like, okay, like he's gonna do what he wants to do, but he's like timid about it. He wants to like keep it a secret.
Yeah.
And so he goes to school. The girl that is probably going to be this season's everyone's waifu.
It already is. Like it's like one episode came out and they were like, the entire like Annie Twitterverse was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, let me unload all of my nuts on this fictionalized high school woman. Like, I was like, Jesus Christ, Annie Twitter, chill your fucking loins, dude. No, I'm sorry, that was maybe too much, but
no, I mean, Twitter does need to chill. So this girl he meets, he's going to school, he sees this girl, he knows of her, but it's like from a distance, they say hi to each other, and then after school one day they like bump into, or I think they bump into each other, and she sees that he makes clothing for these dolls, and he works on dolls, and she's like, wait a minute. So she comes back, she tells Gojo to close his eyes, he opens his eyes, and he sees that she's wearing this outfit, and it's basically a poorly made cosplay.
Yep.
And then we see the connection of both of the worlds, because she wants to be a cosplayer, but she can't make outfits. Gojo can make outfits, so they kind of do this partnership together where Gojo is going to help her achieve her dream of being a cosplayer. And so that's all in the first episode. Yeah. There's some romance, but there's also there's a lot of ecchi in this show. I cheated and went ahead and watched episode 2, and all of episode 2 is just the entire episode's etchiness. It's just like he's I won't talk about it. Go watch it, because I'm sure you already have at this point. But
yeah, I'm about to say, if you're watching this episode, I'd be surprised. Pretty much everybody's. It's like the only show. I literally was like looking at polls. It is like the only show people are watching. Like the other.
Yeah. This is easily the most well animated show this season.
Oh yeah,
and I know that the manga was also pretty popular.
Can we clap about this real quick? Yo,
what?
Cloverworks animated blinking into the show. Did you guys notice that?
Oh yeah. Like, not only did they animate blinking in the show, this is their third show that they're animating this.
At first, I remember I was like sitting there watching. Yeah, this is their third show, Tokyo 24th Ward.
They were like, everybody else put on break.
What was blowing my mind throughout this whole episode is that when characters were just speaking or casually standing or sitting, they would blink, like just casually blink. And I didn't notice it as but by the end of the episode, I realized they were doing it throughout the whole episode. And I was like, I'm so used to that like cold anime face where the eyes are just wide open looking at you. So the idea that characters were just blinking, like started to like really throw my brain off. I was like, they're blinking. They're just blinking like regular people. Like they're real, just 2D people. So somehow Tokyo 25th Ward was like their worst animated, and there was like Akebi's school uniform was pretty, and this was just like gorgeous. The show was just gorgeous, beginning to end, incredibly well done.
The music was so good. The opening song.
This is this was the opening of the season for me. I did love the opening for this show. I did love the opening for this show. I wasn't ready for it to be so cute. I really loved the opening song.
This was just like the standout anime of the season. I think. It was just so clearly this was the best show. Like, I was like, why am I watching anything else?
Yep. This is the one to watch. I mean, there's no other way to put it. This is the one to watch. And I hate that, like, potentially our listeners just listen to like an hour and 40 minutes of us being like, well, that was shit. That show was shit. Trash. And all just to get to Dress Up Darling for us to just confirm exactly what they already knew. And that's that the show is actually good.
It's okay. Our clickbait title is probably going to say, like, was my Dress Up Darling bad? Worst season of anime ever?
Write that down, dude. Write that down. That's the name right there. Was my Dress Up Darling bad? Worst season of anime ever? Question mark, exclamation mark, question mark. No. Yeah, I mean, here's the deal about My Dress Up Darling. When I originally read the manga, I read the first volume of the manga back when, there are only 4 volumes out in English. I think there's quite a few more in Japanese, but I couldn't tell you how many. So I picked up the first volume of the manga because a buddy of mine had gotten it suggested to him. He liked it, so I said, okay, let me grab the first volume. I picked it up, I read it, and I just didn't feel anything, you know? I got through the first volume, and I was like, okay. And I threw it in my, like, sell pile, you know? It's still in the pile, I haven't sold it. I didn't buy volume 2, 3, and 4, because I just didn't feel anything. And I just remember thinking, like, Gojo's whatever, Marin's cute, and I was like, yeah. I mean, I felt like it was kind of weird because they're like clearly like high school freshmen, I think is what it said.
Yeah.
So that means they're like 14, 15.
They're 14.
Yeah. So it's like Marin's a little over-sexualized for like a 15-year-old, but it's whatever. It's fucking
little.
It's fucking anime and manga. That just happens. It's weird for high school freshmen to be like the centerpiece of a seinen manga. also like a mature seinen manga. It's an interesting combo. So I just remember finishing the first volume, going like, eh, and then I just kind of tossed it and was like, I don't really think I'm going to get into this. And this was before the anime had even been announced. And then as last year went on, they announced the anime, and I was like, okay, I guess they're going to do an anime. I'll have to watch it. And then I watched this first episode, and my feelings towards the show were just completely changed. Like, it's crazy what good directing, good pacing, a well put together scripting of what already, like, you know, they pretty much lifted the dialogue right from the manga, but by just the way that it was formatted and delivered, it just brought certain elements of that to life in a way that me as a potential fan, I am now like, oh, I want to watch more of this. I was like, I'm gonna watch more of this, and I didn't expect to after reading the first volume. So I mean, I said this in our last. I kind of felt the same way about Blue Period. I read the first volume of Blue Period before the anime was even announced, and I was like, okay, that was pretty good. And I remember thinking like, at least with Blue Period, I liked it and had planned to read more. But then when I watched the first episode of the anime, I was floored, and I was like brought into it because there's something about the way that the animation, the artwork, and the voice acting, and some of the delivery can elevate something for me. And Dress Up Darling elevated this material. It very rarely happens. Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, shonen shows have been living in this renaissance of like the anime elevating the source material. This is one of the first examples, I think, of a ecchi rom-com having its source material elevated by the anime, which is crazy. Yeah. I'm like, okay, so we're now at the point in anime where teams are going to come together like, we're going to make the most badass version of My Dress Up Darling that we can make, goddammit. And it worked. It worked on me, and it sucked me back into it and made me go, wow, I appreciate these characters. I appreciate the relationship that I think they might have. And I was like, shit, I've read more than what was in the first episode, and I was like not bought in. But then I watched this first episode and I was like, fuck, I love them both, and I want this.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's like the same thing we generally see with like just adaptations making stories better, like with JJK, Demon Slayer,
right.
Komi, K Communicates a great example.
Yes.
That anime was like, oh. And so so I'm happy that we're seeing at least some show this season get that treatment.
Yeah.
Like
surprise, only one.
Like,
it was just
only one.
Hey, that one, it's good.
Yeah. And like the manga was meh, but like seeing the anime, I'm like, I'm addicted. Like,
I'm in.
It was the same with like with Nagatoro, even though that was like, and like visually it was all right, but like that just seeing that in anime form was like, oh, I'm addicted to this. I don't know why, but I am. So gotta keep watching it.
I liked
Good
it.
anime.
I liked it.
Yeah. Do y'all want to thumb it? I mean, is it?
I mean, it's obvious. Alyssa and I are gonna watch more. We liked it.
Yeah, we're watching My Dress Up Darling this season. Welcome to the My Dress Up Darling.
Surprise.
Okay, the last show we're gonna review this week is
what is
Vampire
it?
Night.
God.
What's it called, Kenny?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and explain it. I believe
is this a Vampire Night sandwich? You got Vampire Night right, Kenny? Vampire Night right at the end?
Academy. Come on, episode 50.
No,
we gotta
okay,
talk
boys.
about our
David, Kenny. Bottom 3, top 3. What are you guys saying?
Bottom 3 in the Land of Leadale. Sage Man and Genius Prince. Bottom 3.
Okay.
Top 3. My Dress Up. Oh, should we all do bottom 3?
Let's do bottom. We can do bottom. David, what was your bottom?
Oh yeah. My bottom 3: Orient, Love of Kill, and The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt.
I respect that. I literally called it unnecessary filth. So the bottom of my bottom 3 is The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt.
That one, yeah.
Followed up
in all 3 bottom 3s.
Followed up pretty closely by The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest, which also has no reason to exist. I'm gonna give my last spot. I'll kind of go out of left field. I'll give it to Love of Kill. I really hated that one, even though Land of Leadale is like a close.
Yeah,
I'm back and forth on it, but I'll give.
That's in my top 3.
I'll put Land of Leadale in the middle, and I'll let Love of Kill exist in the bottom 3 with Strongest Sage and Genius Prince. I really hated Love of Kill. Like, I really didn't like it.
It was just so confusing.
I really didn't like
it. Just made no goddamn sense.
Okay, top 3. Should we go in reverse? Should I do it and then David, then Kenny?
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's do that. I think we're about the same though.
Top 3 is going to be obvious. The number 1 is My Dress Up Darling. They just did a great job. Very rarely do I have a show that I read the manga and then that I didn't like the manga and I immediately came into the anime. My kind of out of left field pick is Police in a Pod. I actually really liked it and I really want to watch more of it. It's a really it had just a lot of stuff that I was digging and I think it was just the themes of it. I'm kind of torn on my third one, but I think I'm going to go with Bisco, Sabikui Bisco. I think that was my third favorite. With Tokyo 24th Ward as like an honorable mention, I think. But Bisco was probably my third overall. So, David?
I have the exact same 3, Jerry.
Well, fuck
my
me in my ass.
Darling, Police in the Pod, Sabikui Bisco.
Yeah, I think those are...
My top 3 at number 3 was Sabikui Bisco. Number 2, My Dress Up Darling, and obviously at number 1 was Vampire Night. It was my favorite show of this season, guys.
Yeah, because Kenny forgot to watch Police in a Pod is what happened. If he had watched it, he would have put it up there. He watched he turned it on and like fucking dropped his food or something. I don't know.
Because I fell asleep during The Princess of Genius, but like I thought I watched the whole episode. I don't know what the fuck. What
happened? Well, okay, Kenny, if you had to pick a third, what would it be for real?
Oh, probably 24th Ward. I like that one.
I rock that. Okay.
It might have been fucking Akebi's sailor uniform though. That one's just so weird that I was like,
that's like my honorary.
Kenny's ready to smell some fucking toenail clippers. God damn it!
I don't. It was just. Oh wow.
Well, there you go. You've heard it from us first. Dress Up Darling is the one to watch with
obviously.
Police in a Pod, Sabikui Bisco, Tokyo 24th, and Akebi Sailor Uniform as some potential other options to cleanse your palate if you're over My Dress Up Darling or if you just want something else to watch. This season was pretty we didn't mention this.
I'm about to say, don't watch anything else.
This season is kind of getting dominated by 2 big forces, which is the final season of Attack on Titan Part 2 and Demon Slayer Entertainment District Arc. Both of those are running right now and have kind of been running.
And Ranking of Kings Core 2.
Ranking of Kings Core 2 is still going. We also have a couple. I think like Ari Ferretta came back. I think Teasing Master Takagi-san came back. Yes, I think that.
I think one more Isekai continued too.
Yeah, a lot of random ass shows.
I don't remember.
No, The Realist Hero came back. It's got a season 2 right now. Yeah, fucking Realist Heroes, which we hated, but it's back for another season. This season, I think, was definitely kind of dominated by the season 2s, and a lot of the original stuff, the new stuff, really didn't stand out. Really, a really weak season overall, and kind of disappointing. But maybe this is a season to catch up on stuff you missed. I mean, 2021 just had so much good stuff that if there's a show you didn't catch up on or you missed last year, go back and watch it now. You know, like
there's
Kenny,
some exciting shows to come.
Ranking of Kings and Odd Tech. Well, I mean, yeah. We've got we've got Blue Lock this year, Kenny. Which is
Blue Lock.
I'm really excited for that. We got Chainsaw Man. In October. We got Bleach in October. We got Spy Family over the summer. Yep. I mean, winter is definitely like the weirdest season. I think. I think we're gonna have some bangers pretty much every other season. It seems like 2022 is just off to a slow start. And maybe that's why World's End Harem got pushed back to this season, so it would be like
maybe
not the worst. I don't know. Yeah, like but yeah, Titan and Demon Slayer just dominant. I literally looked at a little poll thing, and it was like that's the only thing people are watching. Like they're not even watching anything else. They're just like only watching Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Which I mean, I don't know if I can be. I'm watching Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer. So I guess I'm like, Sunday. Am I part of the problem? Yeah, maybe. Kitty's over here like, I fucking read the manga of Demon Slayer, and Attack on Titan is literally just a Gundam anime.
Wait, we also get Mob Psycho Season 3.
Yep, that's the
Villain Saga.
Oh, fuck me.
Kakegurui Season 3.
Yep. There's more to come.
JoJo's.
Hopefully more JoJo's, yep. Shaman King will wrap up this year, which I'm excited to see the finale animated. But there's just a lot going on with this year, honestly. But this was a shitty start to the year. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. This is a fucking shitty start to this year.
I mean, AOT and Demon Slayer are kind of holding the fort.
Right. Kenny, have you seen
Dress Up Darling was good.
Kenny, have you seen that there's a guy that like went viral by saying that Attack on Titan is just a Gundam anime? Did you see this?
What?
Kenny,
I've been saying that
I'm
for
so
years.
pissed because you've been saying it. Literally, like there's probably a clip from like there's probably clips from like 2 years ago on this podcast where you said it. There's like a guy that recently went viral and like Viz like retweeted it because he did like a skit, like a TikTok skit, and he's like, it's like he's talking to himself, but it's like supposed to be two guys, and one of them's like, didn't you know that Attack on Titan's just a Gundam? And he's like, no, it's not. And he's like, political? Well, they're inside of giant robots. You know, it's like that's the bit, and like it went like viral, Kenny. And I was like, Kenny has been saying this for so long, like for so long.
This is my thing.
And I was like, this guy's getting famous off Kenny's shit. Damn it.
Attack on Titan is a shitty Gundam anime. I've been saying that for years.
It is. But you guys know what's up. I hope you guys enjoyed our thumb. We got this right at 2 hours, so pretty solid.
Well, there was a lot of shit anime.
And it's honestly because we just sped through some of these, and we apologize if we went too quickly. But the reality of it is this season was just schlocky, dude. It was schlocky. Yeah. It was schlocky. So go out and enjoy the good stuff that's out there, and enjoy Demon Slayer, enjoy Attack on Titan, enjoy My Dress Up Darling. It honestly is going to be good, I think. So buckle up, and hopefully we will be back with obviously the next season, but we have a lot of fun stuff planned for the actual in-between time between our impressions. We're hopefully going to get a couple guests on. We're going to hopefully talk about Shonen Jump. We've been wanting to do a follow-up to our Shonen Jump episode from last year and go back over because the magazine has shifted so much in just a year. So many series have been canceled. So many series have been moved, and we've got new stuff. Like, it's crazy because there were things that started and got canceled and already got replaced between the last episode and what we're going to do. So we're going to have some of that planned for you guys, as well as just trying to do a little bit of catch up. I think there's some shows we just need to talk about. One thing that I've already heard some people point out is like Megalobox. Why have we never talked about Megalobox? Like, I never saw season 1. We totally skipped season 2. I watched like 2 episodes of it, Kenny, and I liked it, but never finished it. Like, that's like one of those shows that I feel like we need to maybe dedicate an episode to. But also, listeners at home, I know that we've had some suggestions in the past, and we've not really gotten to all of them. But if you guys have any suggestions for us for things you want to hear us talk about, whether it's anime or manga, or if there's any content creators or other people in the community that you would love to see come on the show and talk to us about anime and manga, let us know down below. Yeah, get in the comments. Let us know down below, because genuinely we do like to listen to what you guys have to say. And we try to make whatever is fun and interesting to you guys as much as it's fun and interesting to us. Kenny and David and I are attending a convention here in Dallas in about 2 weeks. So if anyone else will be there, it is called WeebCon. It'll be WeebCon 2. This is their second one. So we will be there for the Saturday of that convention. So if anyone else is going to be there, come find us, say hey. We'll be out and about pretty much the whole time, having fun at the con. So if you're going to be there, it should be a good time. They've got a pretty good lineup of voice actors. They're going to be present at WeebCon 2. We might get some footage. We took footage when we were at Ecchi Expo, but the reality of it is like it's not YouTube appropriate, so we ended up not uploading it. Maybe if we make a Patreon page one day, we might put it as like a secret Patreon exclusive. But this will be our third con going together as the UAP boys. So we're excited to go to another con and go and enjoy WeebCon this year. So we might do another vlog type video, very short vlog like we did for Medessa Anime when we went last year. So be on the lookout for that as well. On that note, make sure you guys like, make sure you guys comment, make sure you guys subscribe. All that helps us to grow within the algorithm. Make sure you go over to Spotify, you press follow, you go over to Apple Podcasts, you give us those 5-star reviews. Spotify has rankings now on podcasts. Jump over there, give us a 5-star on Spotify. All that helps us to grow within the algorithm. That means if you guys are liking our content, there's probably other weebs, other anime fans out there that are going to like our content as well. And as such, let's get connected with them. So build this community, grow this community by just hitting that like, dropping a comment, and sharing out this video with your friends, family, whoever. So on that note, guys, this has been the 50th episode of the Uncensored Anime Podcast, and we're saying peace.
Bill 6.